Chapter 1863. Although Wan Guangxiao had already asked him to leave, Su Yin had no intention of leaving. After the ceremony, Su Yin stood straight in front of Wan Guangxiao. He stared at Wan Guangxiao so intently that Wan Guangxiao felt his hair stand on end. Wan Guangxiao felt helpless. This guy is still here. He worries too much. Why aren't you leaving? Time is life. Time is money. Time is the past that will never come back. Wan Guangxiao smiled bitterly. Don't waste your time on me. Go do what you need to do. Sir, you know why I'm staying. Su Yin said calmly. If you don't give me a clear answer, I will definitely not leave. Wan Guangxiao was stunned. If you choose to stay, then no problem. I'll get someone to arrange a room for you immediately. Welcome back to the army. Tomorrow, the Dragon Fury team's training mission will be handed over to you. I'll give you 2 hours of rest at night, so you can drink with your brothers. Is that enough? Su Yin scratched the back of his head. You know what I mean. Stop beating around the bush. When Wen Xiao appeared with them at the Dragon Brigade, he was immediately restrained by his hands. He was still being held in an absolutely safe room. Su Yin and Wen Xiao both knew about this, so they gladly accepted it. However, Su Yin had already finished his mission report at Wan Guangxiao's place. He had not heard any movement from Wen Xiao. Of course, he was a little anxious. I've been working on your report all this time. I haven't had time to hold a meeting on how to deal with Wen Xiao. The longer you stay here, the less time you have to get the news. Do you still need me to explain such a simple principle to you? Wan Guangxiao looked at Su Yin. Su Yin also knew that he was a little anxious. This time in Southeast Asia, if it wasn't for Wen Zhao's cooperation and assistance, we wouldn't have been able to complete the mission so smoothly. Captain, you must consider this matter carefully. I believe that Wen Xiao has really turned over a new leaf. Give him a chance. Don't worry. I will definitely give him a chance. Wan Guangxiao said. But he has to bear the consequences of his mistakes. Don't worry. I also cherish my soldiers. Just like you, I see each and every one of them as my treasures. Do you understand what I mean? Yes. Su Yin stood at attention and said. With your words, I feel much more at ease. If he should be punished, please punish him. And become the strongest warrior in our Dragon Brigade. I believe that he will give his all for the benefit of his country and the people. Wan Guangxiao chuckled. You don't need to say these words. When the time comes, he will say them himself. Alright, go. I won't keep you. After meeting you, Marin, go back to wherever you want. You don't need to come and greet me. I'll leave when you confirm Wen Zhao's punishment. Su Yin grinned. Don't worry. You little brat. Even the captain doesn't feel at ease. Wan Guangxiao pretended to be angry and put on a straight face. Fine, fine, fine. Do as you wish. You can stay for as long as you want. But remember this. You can choose not to participate in the training today. But if you want to stay in the army tomorrow, you have to follow the army's rules. Do you understand? Yes. Su Yin promised and ran out of Wan Guangxiao's office. If Wen Zhao's punishment wasn't confirmed by tomorrow, he was willing to participate in the training with his brothers. At this time, Guagua and a few other gifted children had been taken to independent training. Wan Guangxiao didn't know about this. He was only responsible for arranging the best instructors and nutritionists for the young Special Forces young pioneers. Other things didn't really belong to him. After all, there were too many things for him to handle. When Su Yin went to find Guagua, he was informed by the person in charge of the Special Forces young pioneers that it would take at least 3 days to see Guagua. If he wanted to see her now, he had to get the signature of the main force. Su Yin thought about it and gave up. He didn't need to go to the main force for such a small matter. Besides, he didn't want to disturb and affect the independent training Guagua and her friends were participating in. Fortunately, Marin wasn't busy at this time. Although she still needed to be in the medical department, except for a routine meeting today, Marin had been quite idle. Of course, she knew that Su Yin and the others had returned triumphantly. Now the others had rejoined the training. Su Yin was still talking to the chief. What she needed to do was to wait quietly. After Su Yin finished talking with the main force, he would definitely come to see her. Marin's expectation didn't disappoint her. Su-Yun really came to see her after he finished. The leader of the medical department generously waved his hand and gave Yu-Marin a day off. After all, the medical department wasn't as strict as the soldiers in the army. Training couldn't be stopped every day. The people in the medical department couldn't ask for leave casually except for special research, and when there was a seriously injured person undergoing emergency treatment. On normal days, the leader of the medical department was quite good to everyone. If there was any special situation, he would do his best to support them with leave. Although Yu-Marin's visit wasn't considered a family visit, it wasn't a special situation. But everyone knew about her relationship with Su-Yun. The leader of the medical department also thought highly of this golden boy and jade girl in the Dragon Brigade. So of course he wouldn't be stingy when it came to Yu-Marin's leave. Just come back before lights out at night, the leader of the medical department said to Yu-Marin. As long as you're in the army, even if you want to stay overnight with Su-Yun, I can't do anything about it. But you can't stay out all night. This is a matter of principle. Yu-Marin blushed. She didn't know how to respond to the leader's joke. She could only nod shyly and wanted to hide behind Su-Yun. Su-Yun, the beauty of our medical department is in your care. You have to shoulder this responsibility. The leader of the medical department smiled at Su-Yun. Su-Yun grinned and laughed. Don't worry, leader. If Beauty Yu loses a single strand of hair, I'll bring my head to you. I'll definitely protect her. Don't worry. If you're worried, how can I leave her to you? The leader of the medical department smiled knowingly. Then I'll really take her away. Su-Yun glanced at Yu-Marin. Yu-Marin frowned and said, All right, don't talk so much nonsense. Hurry up and leave. If you guys continue to joke with me, I'm going to get angry. I can't wait anymore. Hurry up and take her away. The leader of the medical department waved his hand, indicating that the two of them could go out and have fun. It was almost 11:30 in the afternoon. After Su-Yun and Yu-Marin left the medical department, Su-Yun brought Yu-Marin to the parking lot without thinking. He just remembered that Yu-Marin's birthday was at the beginning of next month. However, he might not have time to come to Beijing at that time, so he decided to celebrate her birthday with her in advance. Where are we going? Why are you at the parking lot? It's almost lunchtime. Let's go to the cafeteria first, Yu-Marin said. The leader has already approved your leave. We can go out and have fun. Why are we still eating at the cafeteria? What do you want to eat? I'll take you there, Su-Yun said heartily. Let's not eat at the platoon today. We're going to have a big meal. Yu-Marin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she looked at Su-Yun. This guy. Sigh. Actually, the food in the platoon was quite good. It was very nutritious. Although it didn't taste as good as the food cooked by the top chefs in five-star hotels, it was definitely much better than the food in ordinary home-cooked restaurants. Most importantly, they couldn't eat gutter oil in the platoon, nor could they eat those messy things with chemical additives. It was definitely healthy food. Compared to the food outside, she believed that many people would treat the food in the special forces as a big meal, right? I don't know. Since I was young, I haven't eaten much outside food. Yu-Marin smiled. However, when I went there with Guogua a while ago, I really ate a lot of good food. Seafood barbecue, beer skewers. Su-Yun's eyes widened. He didn't remember bringing Yu-Marin to eat these things. Yu-Marin didn't finish her sentence. I didn't eat any of those things. They looked quite good. I wonder if Yanjing has these? Su-Yun clapped his hands. So she wanted to eat these. Yes, of course. It's just that these things will only be available at night. Let's eat something else for lunch first. At night, I'll bring you to the most authentic place in Yanjing to have skewers. How about it? Okay. Yu-Marin was a little excited. Chapter 1864. Su-Yun drove off with Yu-Marin. The two brothers from the Dragon's Might team on duty at the entrance of the Dragon Brigade looked at them. Sigh, what were they going to do when they were labeled as single dogs? These two people's behavior was simply a fancy way of abusing single people. They couldn't play like this. They could only salute and watch the two of them go out to have fun. Dragon's Fury's brother Yun is really lucky. The two guys on duty couldn't help but whisper to each other. They were so envious that their hearts itched. That's because he's capable. If you're capable, you can also be an instructor or a captain. You can also be the center of attention of the beauties in the medical department. The other said, all right, stop being envious. Stand guard properly. In the future, you might have a chance to find a girl who sincerely likes you and marry her. Beauty, you stop thinking about it. You'll never be able to think about it. Do you think I'm crazy? Would I dare to think about Beauty, you? She's Instructor Yenlong's woman. I can't even think about it. If those guys from the Dragon Fury team find out, they'll eat me alive. Speaking up to this point, this guy couldn't help but shudder. Don't talk nonsense. I really don't have any thoughts. I'm just thinking, can we still find a good girl to be our wife in the future? Why can't we find one? We're also handsome young men. Our shoulders are reliable and our chests are broad enough. Standing beside us gives us a sense of security. Why wouldn't the girls like us? What man was saying made sense. What man was more secure than the brothers from the Dragon Brigade? Girls nowadays don't have the same mindset as before. Girls nowadays let go and have fun for a few years. When they're tired of it, they'll find someone to marry and live their life with. The brothers from the Dragon's Might team were right to be worried. That was how society was now. Unmarried girls in bars and nightclubs were especially high. They weren't married and didn't have any responsibilities. Why couldn't they have fun? Of course, there were also some women who were married, and even had children who were still so high. This was indeed more or less a case of water in their brains. To pursue such a free life, one must have a celibate attitude. Otherwise, one should not harm others as early as possible. Do you think that down-to-earth people like us are at a disadvantage? Are you afraid of becoming a father? Don't say it like you're not afraid. All right, stand guard properly. Don't think about it anymore, it'll only make you cry. Su Yin drove with Yu Marin on the spacious highway in Beijing. Yu Marin was a girl who was usually afraid of the sun, but today, she was enjoying the sunshine very much. The heavens also gave them face. Today, the sky was clear and boundless, and there was not a single scent of smog to be seen. Su Yin rolled down all the windows. Although the sound of the wind was ear-piercing, it made him feel an indescribable sense of comfort. It was already autumn, but Beijing wasn't cold at all. The cool autumn weather made Beijing seem like a small stove. As there were more and more cars on the road, Su Yun and the others were getting closer and closer to Beijing. Yu Marin's hair was slightly messy from the wind. She turned her head to look at Su Yun. Where are you taking me at noon? Let's go to the best cake shop in Beijing to buy you a birthday cake. Su Yun remembered that there was a cake shop in San Juan. It was very famous. He couldn't remember the name, but he could roughly figure out the general location. Yu Marin was startled. She really didn't remember her birthday, but she remembered it after Su Yun reminded her. But it wasn't her birthday today. I don't know if I have time next month. Su Yun explained. I know no expensive gift can compare to the time I can spend with you for a day. So I'm going to celebrate your birthday in advance. After a pause, Su Yun said. If you don't mind. Yu Marin certainly didn't mind. She was really touched. Su Yun was distracted by too many things. Under such circumstances, he could still remember her birthday. This really made her feel flattered. Whether or not it was Yu Marin's birthday today, it was enough that Su Yun could remember her birthday. Su Yun, thank you. Yu Marin was a little shy. Thank you for doing this for me. I haven't done anything yet. Su Yun was embarrassed. Let's go. Let's go buy a cake first. I'll find a friend to help book a high-end restaurant and have a candlelight lunch with you. Yu Marin's eyes were filled with happiness. She vigorously nodded and said, In. Su Yun looked for the location of the cake shop while calling Situ Xing. He went straight to the point and said, Situ, are there any high-end romantic restaurants in the Third Ring Road? You're the owner of a bar, so you must know these places like the back of your hand. You've really found the wrong person for this. This has nothing to do with opening a bar. Situ Xing was very surprised when she received Su Yun's call. I haven't brought girls around in Yanjing for a long time. If you ask me, I really don't know. Yanjing's development in the past few years is still very fast. Then forget it. Pretend I didn't ask. Su Yun said while pondering who to ask next. Situ Xing reminded him. Do you still need to ask me about this? You should ask your little brother, Fu Tian, and the others. There's no place in Yanjing that they can't play in. That's right. Why didn't Su Yun think of this? Okay, then I'll call Fu Tian now and ask. After Su Yun hung up the phone, Yumarin reminded him. Actually, we don't need a high-end restaurant. Any place is fine. As long as you're with me, I don't care about anything. We'll go buy a cake, and then I'll choose the place? How can that be? I've never properly spent a birthday with you. I didn't have the chance before, but now that I have the chance, of course I can't just make do. Su Yun had already dialed Fu Tian's number while speaking. When Fu Tian received Su Yun's call, his excitement soared 100 times. When he heard that Su Yun had something for him to arrange, he patted his chest and agreed without hesitation. He said that he would get it done in 2 minutes and sent the address to his phone. Although this kid didn't make Su Yun feel at ease, and didn't make Su Yun feel that he was reliable, this matter was probably too simple for Fu Tian. Therefore, Su Yun really dared to let him do it. After 2 minutes, Fu Tian sent the name and location of the restaurant to Su Yun's phone. It was a very famous Western restaurant in San Juan. The environment was romantic, and the price was definitely shockingly high. But it was such a place. The last sentence of Fu Tian's message clearly stated, "The second floor has been booked. Everything will be handed over to the little brother." He was really too willful when he was rich. Su Yun replied with a thank you, then threw his phone aside and began to look for the cake shop. Hard work paid off. After half an hour, Su Yun finally found the cake shop. According to Yumarin's taste, they ordered an ice cream cake. Just this cake was close to 1,000 yuan. But they didn't just sell things, they sold services. This cake, no matter how much you requested, and in what form you wanted it to be sent to, they would take care of it for you. What kind of society was the current society? It was a society that paid attention to services. Many times, why would someone make money and someone lose money in the same business? Those who lost money often thought that their fate was bad and that their luck was bad, but they didn't see that it wasn't that their luck was bad, but that their service wasn't good. On a large level, service represented the value of your goods and reflected the value of your goods. Su Yun straightforwardly handed over the money, then took Yumarin straight to the famous Western restaurant. For so many years, he had received too much care from Yumarin. Today, he really should seize this opportunity to thank her properly. The cake shop wasn't far from the Western restaurant. Su Yun found it in 10 minutes. When Yumarin saw such a big scene, she was a little surprised. This was too extravagant, too wasteful. Chapter 1865. After Fu Tian saw Su Yun, his face was full of excitement. If it wasn't for Yumarin standing beside him, he couldn't wait to go up and hug Su Yun. "Brother Yun, how long have you not been to Yanjing? I missed you so much. How is it? Today's place is not bad, right? Sister-in-law didn't dislike it, right?" As he spoke, Fu Tian carefully glanced at Yumarin and smiled at Su Yun. He really admired Su Yun in his heart. Look at Brother Yun's level. Fu Tian was also a big playboy who could call the wind and summon the rain in Yanjing City. He had a lot of beautiful women around him, but none of them could be compared to Brother Yun. You should pay attention to your mouth. Don't call everyone sister-in-law. Su Yun glared at Fu Tian and said, "You made such a big scene. Aren't you afraid of spraining your waist? You're scaring me to death. I'm not as rich as you. Brother, if you still need to pay for your own money in Yanjing City, it's equivalent to slapping your younger brother's face." Fu Tian pouted and said, "Don't let your younger brother be ashamed. The place I chose, to be honest, is not worthy of sister-in-law's amazing appearance and temperament." Yumarin knew that this young man was definitely a rich second generation. Although she had always had a bad impression of these rich second-generation parasites, she didn't hate Fu Tian. Perhaps it was the reason why he called her sister-in-law in his first sentence. Moreover, his mouth was like smeared with honey. He really knew how to chat. For a kid like him, the most professional thing in his life is to fool little girls. He can praise them to the sky with just a few words. Su Yun didn't know whether to laugh or cry as he said to Yumarin, "Do you feel that you are already floating?" Yumarin smiled shyly. It's good to be able to chat. Being able to make girls happy is also a kind of ability. I finally met a confidant today. No one knows me better than sister-in-law. When Fu Tian saw that Yu Marin was happy, he felt even more proud. If his sister-in-law was happy, it meant that he had done a good job. If things were done well, it meant that Brother Yin would be happy. If that's the case, I really need to learn more from you when I have time, Suyin joked to Fu Tian. Fu Tian waved his hand. Brother Yin, don't laugh at me. He wanted to say, you're surrounded by beauties all day long, so why would you need to learn any flowery words? If that's the case, all the beauties in the world will be gathered around you. Because Yu Marin was next to him, Fu Tian swallowed the words in his stomach. Brother, you guys enjoy it. When you're done, just leave. I still have some other things to do. I'll leave first. Then you go ahead. Thank you so much for today's matter, Suyin said. We're family. Don't be so polite. Brother, if you say thank you to me, then you're really treating me as an outsider. As Fu Tian spoke, he ran away. He got into his red Ferrari and disappeared in a flash. Yu Marin's gaze shifted from the sports car in the distance to Suyin. She stuck out her tongue and said, your little brother is too rich. It's okay. Suyin grinned. Then let's go up. Today we're saving money. We can order whatever we want to eat later. Others are spending money. We shouldn't be so extravagant and wasteful, right? Yu Marin really felt a little embarrassed. Suyin smiled. They had booked the whole place. If they didn't eat something expensive, they wouldn't be able to live up to the high reservation fee. Besides, how much could a meal cost even if they had enough energy to eat? 35,000 renminbi? 80,000 renminbi? Even if they opened a 300,000 renminbi bottle of red wine, in Fu Tian's eyes, it was just a drizzle. It was no different from ordinary people buying a 3 renminbi bottle of cola. When the two of them entered the high-end Western restaurant, the waiters immediately led the two of them to the second floor. They obviously treated the guests of young Master Fu Tian as if they were the Empress Dowager. Mr. Su, young Master Fu has already prepared la tour for you. He also asked us to prepare our most special caviar, French foie gras and Kobe steak. What else do you need? The waiter said respectfully. Su Yin waved his hand. Just order the best food in your restaurant. This is our first time here. We'll eat your signature dishes. Okay, please wait a moment. The waiter quickly retreated. A few minutes later, according to the standard Western restaurant procedure, the waiter quickly started to serve the dishes. Red wine, delicious food, and beautiful women. They had booked the entire second floor of one of the most high-end Western restaurants in Yanjing City. In the eyes of ordinary people, they were definitely winners in life. Yu Marin grew up in the Dragon Brigade. Every day, she would eat in the cafeteria with a group of rough men. Although the brothers in the special forces were not allowed to make any sound when eating, and they were also not allowed to talk, that kind of silence was not on the same level as the silence here. This kind of silence made Yu Marin very much enjoy. But she was also very clear that this kind of life was not her life. Her life was in the army. It was in the past, now and in the future. She could only thank Su Yun for giving her this kind of unexpected life experience. Really, it was very comfortable. Just when the two of them were halfway through the meal, there was a discordant sound coming from downstairs. In this kind of situation, it was very rare for people to quarrel. Everyone was a person of status, and they were also people who cared about the atmosphere. So even if there was something unpleasant, it would be resolved in a peaceful way. Who is so powerful that they even booked the entire second floor? Even our young Master Song can't go up? Young Master Song, I think this is really interesting. A coquettish girl used a provocative tone to fan the flames. I'm really sorry, Mr. Song, because you didn't make a reservation in advance. We only agreed when the customer booked the entire place. If you had made a reservation in advance, this kind of situation and problem would definitely not have happened. The restaurant manager said awkwardly. Brother, when I came here to register for a membership, you told me that? The man downstairs seemed to be very difficult to deal with. You said that as long as I registered for a membership, not only would I get a 2% discount on the food and drinks, but you also guaranteed that every time I come here, I would have a seat by the window on the second floor. Yes, that's what I said. There will definitely be a 2% discount. Do I look like someone who cares about your F*King discount? The customer's voice suddenly raised. Do you think I'm a beggar? I didn't give you 200,000 to register for a membership for some *T discount. This daddy casually tipped you and gave you more than that. What I want is service. What I want is a seat every time I come here. Mr. Song, I'm really sorry. It's really a special situation. Don't tell me that I didn't make a reservation. I'm a customer, I'm God. What I want is service, not a seat that I can only eat here after I applied for it. The restaurant manager knew that the other party was someone he couldn't afford to offend, so he could only nod and bow perfunctorily. Yes. You're right. It's all our fault. How about this, Mr. Song? This time you can eat on the first floor first. Is that okay? First floor? Who is our young Master Song to eat on the first floor? The coquettish girl added fuel to the fire. The customers on the first floor all looked over unhappily, but in the face of this arrogant playboy, they could only be angry but didn't dare to say anything. Who booked the second floor? The rich and overbearing young Master Song suddenly said. He pointed at the restaurant manager and said, Go up and tell him to leave. I'll pay for the booking fee. Young Master Song this? Then tell me who it is. I really want to know which young master is so ostentatious to book the entire restaurant. The restaurant manager couldn't argue and could only say, It's young Master Fu, Mr. Fu Tian. Once he heard this, young Master Song couldn't take it anymore. He wasn't just anyone, he was Fu Tian's archenemy Song Dong. Because of the car racing incident, he suffered a great loss. His brother was also injured and he was scolded by his father. He was not allowed to touch a car for a whole month. Good. Fu Tian, you and I are really F*King enemies. Oh, we're all friends. Then I'll go up and say hello. Song Dong ignored the restaurant manager's obstruction and insisted on going up to the second floor. Mr. Song, please don't make things difficult for me. The people eating upstairs are not Mr. Fu but his two friends. Please don't make things difficult for me. The restaurant manager tried his best to stop them. Unfortunately, Song Dong and the girl didn't care about what he said. No matter what he said, they pushed the restaurant manager away and went up to the second floor. Yumarin frowned slightly. She knew that her lunch with Su Yun would definitely be interrupted. Su Yun didn't mind and smiled. Don't worry about them. Let's eat. The restaurant staff will handle it. Chapter 1866. Song Dong rushed all the way up. His purpose was very simple. He wanted to provoke Fu Tian. He didn't believe the waiter's words that the person eating upstairs was Fu Tian's friend. However, when Song Dong really rushed upstairs, he was shocked. No wonder Fu Tian was so generous to reserve the restaurant. It turned out that his friend was this great god. Song Dong remembered Su Yun's face very clearly. He really made the Song brothers suffer a lot. Humph. Enemies really meet on a narrow road. Even eating a meal was swept away by this god of pestilence. Song Dong's mood directly plummeted and fell to the bottom. Young Master Song, this is not young Master Fu. When did such a person appear in Yanjing City? The girl with a coquettish voice looked like a peripheral. She was wearing revealing clothes and had a coquettish temperament. Song Dong didn't know what to say for a while. Facing Su Yun, he knew that he couldn't afford to offend him. But in front of a woman, he couldn't lose face. It was difficult for him to make a choice. Yumarin was still very nervous. Looking at the man and woman, she was at a loss. But Su Yun didn't care at all. He continued to eat the food on his plate. He directly treated the man and the woman as heir. He also asked Yumarin to continue eating and ignore the outside disturbances. The restaurant manager was very embarrassed. He stood in front of Su Yun's table and kept bowing his head and apologizing. I'm really sorry, sir, for disturbing your meal. Mr. Song and your friend, Mr. Fu, are friends. He thought that Mr. Fu was eating upstairs, so he came up to say hello. Although this explanation was very far-fetched, the restaurant manager really couldn't think of any other better explanation. In any case, disturbing the guests' meal was their dereliction of duty. If Fu Tian knew about this, he would definitely go crazy. It doesn't matter. You may encounter low-quality people wherever you eat. Soo-yin didn't even turn his head, and continued to taste the delicious food on his plate. The restaurant manager was embarrassed because Soo-yun's words were obviously meant for Song-dong. Song-dong struggled in his heart for a long time. He really didn't want to provoke Soo-yin. Provoking Soo-yin was tantamount to finding trouble for himself. Forget it, I'll just pretend that I didn't hear anything. Master Song, what do you think he means? He's obviously scolding you. Song-dong hoped that there would be less trouble, but the girl beside him couldn't accept this kind of insult at all. Now that the words had been pointed out, if Song-dong still didn't say anything, then he would really be a coward. If this matter was spread out, saying that he, Song-dong, didn't even dare to offend one of Fu Tian's friends, then how would he survive in the future? How would he be able to establish himself in the Yanjing city's silk pants circle? Brother, we've met before and know each other. Don't you think you're being too rude? Song-dong finally couldn't stand the girl's instigation, and started a war with Soo-yun. If you don't give me face, then don't blame me for not paying attention to you. After all, we're acquaintances. Why bother? Soo-yun put down the knife and fork in his hand, and turned his head to look at Song-dong. Of course he knew him. In fact, he heard 70 to 80% of it from the voice just now. Now he looked up just to confirm it. Acquaintances? Soo-yun said with a blank face. You've got the wrong person. I don't know you. Song-dong was so embarrassed that he almost hid under the table. He, Song-dong, had lived in Yanjing City for so long. Only he didn't know others. There had never been others who didn't know him. This damn Soo-yin actually dared to play with him like this. He didn't give him any face at all. He couldn't swallow this anger no matter what. Master Song, let's go. Maybe he has a strong background, and doesn't like a friend like you at all. The girl with the coquettish voice had already seen Yu Marin. Such an elegant girl was obviously not someone ordinary people could get in touch with. The boy opposite could invite such a real goddess-level girl to dinner. Naturally, he couldn't be an ordinary person. Song-dong couldn't swallow this. He absolutely couldn't leave this restaurant with his face covered in dirt. He also wanted to show Soo-yin his power, and let him know that he, Song-dong, wasn't someone who could be casually bullied. Surnamed Sue, don't be too self-righteous. Song-dong sneered. Who do you think you are? Don't think that you can be so arrogant just because you have some skills. There's always someone better than you. If you provoke me, I'll find someone to kill you. Is this a threat? Soo-yin smiled slightly. What era is this? It is a harmonious society. You are still so arrogant? Does your family know? Young man, don't cheat your father. Even if your father is more powerful, he can't stand your tricks. Be careful of your tricks. Sooner or later, you will get yourself into trouble. Although the Hadean Silver Spear Little Overlord's family isn't as rich as yours, his father's relationship is also good, right? If he finds trouble, he won't be able to handle it. Soo-yin, don't bother with them. Let them go. Yu Marin didn't want her good mood to be ruined. Did you hear that? We don't welcome you here. Soo-yin. Do you know what a reservation is? That is to say, this place is now our private space. You are now trespassing into our private space. If this is in terms of the law, I have the right to sue you. Song-dong was humiliated by Soo-yin. He was really crazy. Okay, you are ruthless. Surnamed Sue, you want to pretend with me, right? Then let me see what strength you have. Today, I am in your private space. I want to see how you accuse me and sue me. See if I will go to jail. Why are you so unreasonable? We didn't make it difficult for you. You just need to leave, and all the problems will be solved. Yu Marin was so good-tempered, but she was irritated by Song-dong's rascality. Men are talking. Why are you a woman interrupting? Are you asking for a beating? The woman with the coquettish voice glared at Yu Marin fiercely. She was obviously jealous. Jealous of Yu Marin's beauty, jealous of Yu Marin's temperament, and jealous of the men around Yu Marin. Soo-yin was really angry now. Song-dong and his woman could attack him at will. He didn't care, but they absolutely couldn't attack Yu Marin. That would only completely irritate him. How much do you want to have a meal with me? Song-dong glanced at Yu Marin. As long as you can name the price, I can afford it. Stand on my side immediately. A haze immediately appeared on Yumarin's face. She really didn't expect that there was such a shameless person in the world. Gotcha. Suyun clenched his fists and pinched the knuckles of his fingers. The knuckles made a creepy sound. Songdong, I'll give you one last chance. Get out of here immediately. Otherwise, I won't be polite to you. Songdong's mouth twitched a few times and he said fiercely, You don't know me, do you? Now you know I'm Songdong? Don't talk nonsense with me. While speaking, Suyun suddenly stood up, grabbed the table knife on the table, and flashed directly to Songdong's side. The table knife in his hand was also on Songdong's neck. Do you really want me to make you bleed? Songdong was a little confused, but he thought carefully. It was a table knife, and this was a restaurant. He absolutely wouldn't dare to do anything to him. Suyun, do you see the camera? If you dare to do anything, you will squat in there. If you dare to kill me, you will pay with your life. In fact, Suyun just wanted to scare him. Of course, it was impossible for him to really disable him. Oh, young Master Song has learned to analyze? Your IQ has improved. You must have drunk a lot of walnut juice during this time, right? You have made progress. Remember to eat more pig's brain. You can make up for it with whatever you eat. While speaking, Suyun pulled Songdong to the table, slapped Songdong's face on the table, and said in a low and gloomy voice, I can't kill you, but I can make you lose face. I will take a few embarrassing photos of you and spread them out. Maybe it will affect the stock price of your songs group. You dare. Songdong glared. He was really afraid of this. No matter what he did, his father wouldn't care about him, but he absolutely couldn't do anything that would affect the stock price of the songs group. To put it bluntly, if he did something embarrassing, it would be fine as long as it wasn't exposed. He could do whatever he wanted in private. Songdong pressed his hands on the table, desperately trying to lift his face, but no matter how hard he tried, there was no way to break free from Suyun's control. Imagine the eldest son of the songs group and a woman lose face in a Western restaurant. Hee, at least the stock price will drop for several days. Suyun spun the table knife in his hand. Suddenly, with a snap, the knife was inserted between Songdong's index finger and middle finger. It directly penetrated the table. Seeing this, the restaurant manager felt distressed. Chapter 1867. Songdong broke out in a cold sweat. If Suyun's knife was slightly off, one of his fingers would definitely be crippled. Songdong, who had lived in the world of playboys since childhood, had never encountered such danger. Even when he was kidnapped by villains, no one dared to kill him. They all talked to him nicely and asked him to ask for a ransom for his family. The only person who dared to do such a dangerous thing to Songdong was Suyun. Don't be so stubborn, Songdong. Don't be so arrogant just because your father has some money. Suyun said lightly. There are many things in this world that you can't solve. For example, right now, I just need to twist the handle of the knife, and I can cut off one of your fingers. Do you believe me? Songdong glared at him. You dare. You don't believe me? Then let's try. Today, I'll let you see whether I dare or not. Suyun sneered. The slightly raised corners of his mouth were full of evil. With Suyun's character, even if this sentence was just a joke or to scare people at the beginning, if the other party dared to be stubborn, he could play for real in minutes. I. Songdong's forehead was covered with sweat. He wanted to be stubborn, but in the end he chose to compromise. I believe you. I believe you, okay? If you believe me, then get out of here. Suyun pulled Songdong up and pushed him a few meters away with one hand. He said to the restaurant manager, You have to explain to Fu Tian what happened today. We are no longer in the mood to eat. If Songdong wants to book the whole place, then let him. He just said that he will pay for the booking fee. Hearing Suyun's words, Yumarin quickly stood up. She had already finished eating. She stayed here to chat with Suyun because she liked the environment here. It could bring her a relaxed mood. Now that the atmosphere had been destroyed, she really was not in the mood to continue staying here. Me? Songdong was dumbfounded. Why? Suyun had already finished eating, and he did not plan to come to this restaurant again. Why should he book the whole place? At this moment, a guest's voice came from downstairs. What a slap in the face. I heard it clearly downstairs. Who asked him to continue acting cool? Since his status is different and he can't dine on the first floor, he'll book the second floor. He didn't know which customer paid the bill, but he wanted to humiliate Song Dong before leaving. Song Dong didn't have time to get angry and chase after him. He could only swallow his anger. Damn it. Don't let him seize the opportunity. If he did, he would definitely torture Su-yin to death. Young Master Song, see you later. Su-yin said indifferently. Oh right, I reckon you don't want to see me either. Since that's the case, let's part ways forever. Yumarin didn't let Su-yin continue to provoke this big playboy. She pulled him and quickly left the restaurant. As for the fee and the booking, she didn't know how to deal with it, but at least the restaurant wouldn't charge Fu Tian in full. Young Master Song, it's quite good. They left, and we booked the whole place. I quite like the environment here. The girl with the coquettish voice didn't notice Song Dong's anger at all. She was actually going to stay here to eat. Pa dash. Song Dong slapped the woman's face loudly. You like the environment here, don't you? Then take off your fucking clothes and dance for me. King like the environment here. I want to do you here. CK. Nameless evil fire was thrown by Song Dong on the girl. This girl was really not to be trifled with. It seemed that she had served these young masters a lot. She had experienced all kinds of ups and downs. When she flipped her hair, it was as if nothing had happened. Young Master Song. Why do you take such a small thing to heart? I understand that you are angry, but don't vent your anger on me. I'm not your trash can. Nor am I your pet. You know clearly what our relationship is. If you treat me like this, I won't serve you. After saying that, the girl turned around and left. If you dare to leave, don't let me see you again. If I see you again, I will kill you. Song Dong scolded fiercely. Bitches are heartless, actors are unrighteous. They are all trash. Aren't you just interested in my money? 100,000? 200,000? I can afford it. I also tell you, don't think that you are so noble. I just like your asterisk and asterisk. Don't think that you are some kind of temperament goddess. You are just a toy for my crotch. No matter how Song Dong humiliated her, the girl didn't look back. She left the Western restaurant under the gaze of all the diners downstairs without changing her expression and heartbeat. In the outer circle business, you have to understand a simple truth. Face is worthless. Moreover, Yinjing City is so big, and everyone is so busy. No one will pay attention to you. Song Dong, this kind of rich and powerful playboy, really can't understand this truth. He is afraid that he will be recognized. He is afraid that people will poke at his spine and say that he is a piece of trash. He can't even handle a small outer circle business. He is afraid of too many things. Mr. Song. This place, are you still reserving? The restaurant manager carefully asked. Song Dong fiercely glared at him. Are you crazy? Who am I reserving this place for? To treat you to a meal? Go to the bathroom and wash your face clean. Take a good look and see if you're worthy of eating with me. The restaurant manager's patience is definitely not something an ordinary person can do. He still calmly said to Song Dong, Mr. Song, you have disturbed Mr. Fu's guest. If Mr. Fu questions, it will be difficult for me. So today's fee, and the damage to this table. What the fuck do you mean? Song Dong heard this and became angry. This grandson wants me to pay. The restaurant manager tried his best to keep a low profile. Mr. Song, you really don't need this money. This money is nothing in your eyes. Even if it fell on the ground, you probably wouldn't pick it up. Whether I pick it up or not is my business. Song Dong was furious. But if you want me to pay for Fu Tian, there is no way. The food was eaten by his people, the wine was drunk by his people, and this table was king broken by him. What does it have to do with me? They left because they were willing to. I didn't chase them away. You can ask whoever you want for the money. But if you didn't come up, none of this would have happened. The restaurant manager pointed out the key point of the matter. What you mean is too obvious. Are you saying that I caused this? So I should be responsible, right? Song Dong's eyes revealed an unusual look of viciousness. Well, since you've said so, Then let me take full responsibility. Song Dong, who was burning with anger, had lost his mind. He didn't care so much. He directly called his 3 brothers and a large number of friends who usually ate and drank with him. Because of the vexation in his heart, Song Dong directly called more than 20 people to smash the restaurant into pieces. He did all this to prove to these people that he wasn't afraid of trouble, he wasn't afraid of responsibility, and he didn't care about the compensation. He just didn't want to clean up the mess for Fu Tian and his friend Su Yun. He also didn't want to book the restaurant for that woman. It wasn't a matter of money. It was F***king not worth it at all. Brother, if you still don't calm down, I'll ask my brothers to find him all over Beijing for you. After we find him, we'll cripple him. Song Bei saw that Brother Dong was so angry. As his younger brother, of course, he was very unhappy. He comforted him while giving advice. Song Dong sneered. Cripple him? Do you think you're Superman? Every single one of us here is capable of crippling him. Say who can cripple Su Yun for me. I'll immediately give him a 20 million check. Do you think I don't want to cripple him? I want to, but no one under us can do it. Brother Dong, that's not necessarily true. Song Bei smiled. We really can't say that we don't have people. We didn't have people before, but it doesn't mean that we don't have people now. I have a friend now who can definitely do it for you. Song Dong was excited when he heard that. Who? Someone who was a Special Forces commander in the French Foreign Legion. His name is Clay. I met him when I traveled to Europe last month. Song Bei said. That skill is amazing. I was targeted by a few local hooligans. He happened to pass by and help me out. He knocked down 5 people in 3 seconds. Song Dong's eyes widened in disbelief. I gave him my 1.4 million watch as a thank you gift. I left my phone number and told him to come to Beijing to play and to look for me at any time. Song Bei said mysteriously. Do you know why I didn't go drinking with you last night? When Clay came, I took him to the club we often went to. I wanted to show him the real kung fu of the Chinese girls. Chapter 1868. Song Dong turned his head and looked at Song Shi and Song Nan on the other side. He asked with a puzzled look, Is 4th brother bragging to me? I'm not in the mood to joke now. The other 2 brothers nodded one after another, indicating that they had heard Song Bei mention it in the morning. There was indeed a person named Clay, but they didn't know the level of this person's strength. Come on, no matter how nice my words are, you definitely won't believe it. Seeing is believing. I'll let you see in a while. Song Bei said proudly. The 4 brothers were standing in front of the high-end Western restaurant that they had smashed, talking and laughing. They didn't take this matter seriously at all. After all, Yanjing was so big, and there were all kinds of people. Those who could afford such a restaurant in the 3rd Ring Road were definitely not simple people. Those who caused this kind of trouble and didn't care at all were probably only the big playboys of the Song family. The restaurant manager had already informed the boss and told him who caused the trouble. The boss didn't have much reaction. He just told him to ignore it and let them smash it. When the matter was over, he would personally find the head of the Song group to deal with it. There were always inextricable relationships between rich people, and some things were simply impossible to explain. The restaurant manager also knew that this matter was not something he could intervene in. He could only watch them vent their anger and leave. He didn't even need to call the police. This matter was over. Have you heard that Sanguzi set up a boxing arena in the western suburbs? Song Bei said. The competition requires a life and death contract. Those who dare to fight are daring to risk their lives. The people who dare to fight in Yanjing are all gathered there to earn money. Sanguzi is the host. Open the bet. You mean to bring Clay over there for us to see? Song Dong said. But if the foreigners know that this thing requires a life and death contract, will they play with you? You can rest assured that Clay knows Chinese and is very proficient. He understands what it means. Song Bei said. He doesn't like women or power. He only likes money. As long as there is money, he will definitely do it. What are you going to do? Let him win the money? How much money can Sanguzi give? At most, it won't exceed 500,000, right? Song Shi said disdainfully. Would a person who is so awesome care about a few 100,000? Songbei shook his head. Of course he doesn't care. Besides, we don't have the time to make him wait for rounds of the competition. I'll pay for it. 1 million. Let him cause trouble. Let's follow and watch. All right. As long as he can make trouble for me, I'll give him 5 million and let him chop off Su Yun's head for me. When Song Dong thought of Su Yun, he gnashed his teeth in hatred. He really hoped that he could find a reliable, ruthless person to do it for him. Songbei patted his chest and said, "No problem." After Su Yun and Yu Marin left the restaurant, Su Yun asked her if there was a place in particular that she wanted to go. Yu Marin thought about it and said that she wanted to go to Happy Valley. She had never been to an amusement park before. Unfortunately, there was no Disneyland in Beijing. Otherwise, she would rather go to Disneyland. When there's a chance, I'll definitely take you to Shenzhen Disneyland. Su Yun gave Yu Marin a guarantee. We can only go to Happy Valley now. We still have to go back to the army at night. Yu Marin stuck out her tongue. I'm just saying. Don't be so serious. I'm already an adult. There's no need to go to the amusement park. Who said that only children can go to the amusement park? Why can't adults go there? Adults can go there too, alright? Su Yun said. Let's go. Let's have fun today. Let's go crazy and have fun. If Happy Valley isn't enough, we'll go to Shijingshan. Okay. Yu Marin's childish heart was completely stimulated by Su Yun. They didn't know that at this time, the 4 brothers of the Song family were already preparing to teach him a lesson. Who knew how many underlings they had arranged to eat and drink for free to find them? The 4 of them weren't idle either. Under Songbei's lead, the 4 brothers came to the Beijing International Hotel, where Clay stayed yesterday. Because they played until 4 o'clock in the morning last night, Clay had flirted with 6 high-class women at the same time. So he hadn't been able to get up until now. The arrival of Songbei and the others made Clay a little impatient. He was still quite sleepy, and he was still flirting with high-class women in his dream. Clay, these are my brothers. They listened to your story and admired you very much. Songbei said, "Hee, so I had to bring them to meet you." Clay didn't have much intention to get to know them. He just nodded. That's all? Of course not. Songbei knew that Clay liked to get straight to the point. It was easier for him to talk with them if he directly brought up the matter of money. We want you to go to a boxing stadium and teach those guys who don't know the immensity of heaven and earth a lesson. 1 million just to make a scene. How about it? Clay was slightly stunned. What kind of boxing stadium is it? 1 million? It's a group of amateurs and unemployed youths. They go to a place where they can fight casually. Songbei said, I believe you can take care of them in less than half a minute. Clay snorted softly. I treat you as a friend. 1 million, I'll give you face. Song Dong really didn't have much of a good impression of Clay. He felt that there was nothing great about this person, except for being able to act pretentious. Moreover, he was so greedy that he became spirited after hearing 1 million. He probably couldn't do it, right? If this grandson went to the Sanguzi boxing stadium and lost face, he would definitely gather his brothers to beat him to death. Even if he lost Songbei's face, he would teach this pretentious peddler a lesson. What he hated the most these days were foreigners who came to Huaxia to act pretentious. Are you sure you can do it? Don't be unable to hold it when the time comes. Song Dong's doubtful voice sounded. Clay didn't even look at him. He just said to Songbei, tell your brother to shut his mouth. Be careful that if he punches him, he won't be able to lift a bone for the rest of his life. Ha ha ha. I'm joking. I'm just joking. Songbei said, Brother Dong is my big brother. Clay, don't joke around. Clay just smiled slightly and didn't say anything more. He got up and said, I'm going to wash my face. Let's go now. I think some people who want to see me make a fool of myself can't wait, right? How can that be? We're all going to see how you educate those trash. How can it be possible to see you make a fool of yourself? Songbei definitely rarely said such nice words to people. Song Dong wasn't in the mood. He got up and said, I'll go downstairs first. Tell your foreign brother that if he can deal with the people in the boxing stadium, he can earn another 5 million. If he can't, then there's nothing. Song Dong's voice was quite loud, and Clay heard it all. He immediately understood that going to the boxing gym was just a warm-up for him to test his firepower. Good, then let him see how much he was worth. When the time came, he wouldn't even be willing to pay 5 million. Don't talk to him if it's less than 8 digits. After Clay washed up, the group of people drove several sports cars directly to Sanguzi's boxing stadium in the western suburbs. This was the most popular time for boxing gambling. After all, they were in the suburbs. There wasn't any good equipment at night, so they took advantage of the afternoon to do it. Anyway, this desolate place hadn't been developed yet. There would be no police. When the four Song brothers brought Clay to the boxing stadium, there were already 2 people fighting. The 2 of them fought fiercely. One of them had blood on his face, and the other's eyes were so swollen that he couldn't open them. Without gloves, it was still very dangerous to fight with a black fist. One of them suddenly swept his leg over. The other person wasn't prepared enough and was directly knocked to the ground. The person who succeeded in the sneak attack didn't give his opponent a chance to breathe. He rode up and beat his opponent until he couldn't move. Only then did the fight end. After the fight ended, several sports cars that suddenly appeared quickly attracted everyone's attention. After the Song brothers got out of the car, Sanguzi was happy. Oh, I was wondering who it was. It turned out to be young Master Song and the others. Ha ha ha, so young masters of your status are also interested in watching me, a low-class thing? Before Song Bei could explain the situation, Clay had already stepped into the boxing stadium. Before the winner who hadn't stepped down from the stage could react, he punched him and sent him flying. Then he kicked the one lying on the ground out of the boxing stadium. Everyone, come at me together. Clay arrogantly pointed at all the people who were fighting below the stage. Sanguzi was suddenly enlightened. Yo, these brothers are here to cause trouble. Chapter 1869. How could the Huaxia men feel when a foreigner came to ruin the party? If anyone backed down at this time, he would never be able to take off the hat of a coward for the rest of his life. Seeing that the group of men were eager to rush up, the scene was about to get out of control. Brothers, we have our own rules. I know what you're thinking, but don't break my rules. Sanguzi controlled the situation in his way. To be honest, the situation was really chaotic. If Sanguzi hadn't controlled it in time, it would have been out of control. After calming down the mood of the brothers, Sanguzi looked at the Song brothers with a smile. I, Sanguzi, don't have the guts to offend young Master Song. What do you mean by this? You brought people to ruin my party? Ah, but I'm afraid it's not enough to bring only one person. Song Bei grinned. Sanguzi, don't mind. We don't mean anything else. We just want to test the firepower here. How much money do you lose later? I'll make it up to you. How about it? Oh, Brother Bei, you're too polite, Sanguzi said. As long as I know that you young masters are not here to make trouble for me, I'll feel more at ease. It's like I've taken a tranquilizer in an instant. But I don't know why you want to test the firepower? Sanguzi's words were a disguised question. How much firepower did they need to test the foreigner? If they beat him to a pulp, who would be responsible? Would he bear the responsibility? These were all questions that Sanguzi needed to make clear. Song Dong still didn't quite believe in Clay's strength. He looked at Song Bei and then at Sanguzi. He said lightly, just let them go. No matter what happens, I'll bear the responsibility for you. Even if they beat someone to death, it won't be your fault. Young Master Song, I'm relieved to hear your words. Sanguzi smiled sinisterly. He didn't like this foreigner acting tough in the territory of Huaxia. Just now, that guy had said that he would fight whoever he could. Fine, he would fulfill his wish. Anyway, even if he was beaten to death, it wouldn't belong to him. It would belong to Song Dong. After he was relieved, Sanguzi turned around and shouted to everyone. Since the foreigners want to exchange pointers with us, let's go. Come at me together. No matter who put him down, I'll treat you to dinner tonight. You can eat, drink, massage, and take care of all the way until dawn. Let's go, brothers. What are you waiting for? This was Sanguzi's territory. Since he had said so, who would care? Let's fight. Who asked this foreign devil to be so arrogant? He said to attack together, so they attacked together and trampled him to death. He didn't have any other advantages, But there were so many of them. One spit of saliva from each of them could drown him. How dare this guy talk big? Seeing dozens of people swarming up, Song Dong sneered disdainfully. He wanted to see how tough this guy's mouth could be. After he was beaten up, he would learn what it meant to be low-key. Brother Dong, are you serious? Do you really want to kill him? Song Bei was a little scared. He wasn't sure whether Clay could face so many people. It was said that no matter how powerful a person was, 2 fists were no match for 4 hands. Clay was facing dozens of people alone. The possibility of him winning was really small. That's right, Brother Dong. No matter how powerful that Su Yun is, he's definitely not a match for so many people. Isn't it too much to use so many people to test Clay? Song Nen also raised this concern. However, how are we going to deal with Su Yun? What if he's a piece of trash and gets beaten up by Su Yun? Where are we going to put our faces? Throw him away? Stuff him into his pants? Song Dong didn't want to lose face in front of Su Yun. I'm telling you, no one should stop him today. As long as he can kill these people, I will treat him whatever he wants me to do. I can even worship him like a Buddha. But if he doesn't have any ability, then he will die here. I will dig a hole for him. The brothers all knew Song Dong's temper, so they all stopped talking and quietly watched Clay being beaten up by a group of strong men. However, what surprised everyone was that this Clay wasn't just for show. His strength had far exceeded Song Bei's estimation of him. Song Bei had thought that Clay would be able to deal with 4 or 5 people without a problem. But even with these dozens of people attacking together, Clay still defeated them one by one. This guy was really ruthless. He had hit the vital joints of people. Not to mention ordinary people. Even experts would have to be careful. Especially joints like the knee. Once a comminuted fracture was hit, it would be difficult to stand up for the rest of your life. Seeing the boxing champions being kicked out by Clay one after another, the excitement on Song Bei's face became more and more obvious. He felt that this kind of pleasure was more intense than the pleasure brought to him by women. The perseverance on Song Dong's face began to turn into surprise. He began to become more and more shocked. This Clay was really a rare fierce man. One person. He defeated Sanguzi and the entire boxing field with one hand. There was no one else as powerful as him. When Clay sent the last person flying 10 meters away, Sanguzi sat on the ground, paralyzed. Are they here to test their firepower? What's the difference between this and destroying the field? This really destroyed his stage completely. Clay, you are really too powerful. I admire you. I admire you. Song Dong didn't need Song Bei to say anything. His attitude instantly became attentive. He handed a bottle of mineral water and asked, "Do you smoke? I have good cigarettes in my car. What flavor do you like? I will get it for you." Clay took the water and waved his hand. "I won't take your job for 5 million yuan. At least a large number. 10 million yuan it is. As long as you cripple that bastard for me, I will not only give you 10 million yuan, but I will also find 20 girls to accompany you for 3 days and 3 nights. Song Dong learned from Song Bei that this guy liked women, so he immediately catered to him. Clay smiled slightly, and his attitude towards Song Dong was no longer so cold. "This is what you said, friend. I accept this condition. We will be friends in the future. Of course we are friends. It is a pleasure to have friends from afar." Song Dong said repeatedly, "This is fun. Let's have some fun tonight." Clay gained Song Dong's trust, and his whole face looked a lot better. "Since there is nothing else here, let's go. I don't want to be with a group of losers for too long. It will lower a person's temperament. Let's go. Let's go right away." Song Dong couldn't wait. Losers? Sanguzi didn't feel good about it. Just a stinky foreigner was enough to make all of them lose their jobs. If this news spread out, how could he survive in society? "Master Song, can you at least give me an explanation?" Sanguzi said. "You can't let your foreigner leave after beating someone up, right?" Song Dong didn't even turn around to look at Sanguzi. He didn't have the time to do that. It was Song Bei who felt bad and pulled Sanguzi back. "Are you stupid? Is it useful for you to shout about these things? So many people couldn't kill him. Can you handle it by yourself? Brother Bei, this is not the case. You just beat someone up for no reason and then leave? Sanguzi said. Then you want to keep him? Do you have the ability to do that? Songbei provoked him. If you don't have the ability, don't talk nonsense. If you talk too much, people won't be able to stand it. Do you understand? Hurry up and do what you are supposed to do. Someone is injured. You arrange to go to the hospital and come back to me. I will reimburse you how much it costs. Brother Bei, you can't just leave like that? Sanguzi was anxious like an ant on a hot pan. Songbei didn't pay attention to him anymore. He hurriedly followed the footsteps in front of him and directly got into his Ferrari. At this time, Clay was no longer in the same car with him. He had been invited by Song Dong to his car. Otherwise, in this society, don't blame yourself for not being respected by others. If you weren't respected by others, it meant that you didn't have that kind of weight. As long as a person's level and weight reached that level, there would naturally be people who would respect you. There was no need to doubt this. Clay could get Song Dong's respect because he showed the strength that could persuade Song Dong. Fist and strength were the most basic things that made him respected. Chapter 1870. Ever since they got out of the car at Happy Valley, Suyin had a feeling that someone was following him and Yumarin. He didn't care because he could sense who was following them. He also knew that these people couldn't pose any threat to him, so he didn't need to care. After all, Yumarin was from the Dragon Brigade. She wasn't a flower vase. She knew what Suyin could sense, but she also knew that the time she could spend with Suyin without any worries was precious. She didn't want trouble and harassment to affect her and Suyun's mood. Sometimes, deliberately ignoring some things was actually a kind of optimistic attitude. It was because the two of them weren't affected by external factors that they could maintain a happy mood. Suyun didn't know when it started, but his right hand was tightly holding Yumarin's left hand. The two of them stayed in Happy Valley for a total of 4 hours. They didn't stop running or walking. When the sky started to turn dark, they realized that the day had passed in a hurry. I really hope that every day can be 36 hours. No, 48 hours would be even better. Yumarin really didn't want to leave, but she was also satisfied. No matter what, she had to thank her leader for giving her this holiday. It allowed her to spend so much time with Suyin. You must be tired. Let's go buy something to drink and rest for a while. Suyin. We still have to get rid of the little tail later. Otherwise, if it follows us to the place where we eat, wouldn't it be too annoying? Yumarin nodded. The two of them went to the parking lot to rest for a while. While the stalker was distracted, Yumarin drove the car out of the parking lot, leaving only Suyin to attract the attention of the stalker. After Yumarin drove the car away, Suyin turned around and disappeared. By the time the stalker realized that Suyin had disappeared, the car he used to look for Suyin had also disappeared. The flustered young man quickly dialed a number on his phone. Brother Dong, I lost the person I was following. I can't find him. Where's the car? We can't lose track of the car. Song Dong flew into a rage when he heard that his useless subordinate couldn't even handle such a small matter. What did you eat growing up? Can't you use your brain? Search. Find him immediately. Yes, I got it, Brother Dong. After the young man hung up the phone, he cursed unhappily. Then he started the car unhappily and drove out of the parking lot aimlessly. As for where he was going to find the person, he had no clue at all. Forget it, he couldn't be bothered to worry about this. Anyway, there would definitely be people who would target him. If he broke off the connection, then so be it. At most, he would be scolded by Song Dong. He wouldn't lose a piece of meat, so it didn't matter. Suyin took Yumarin directly to the beer kebab shop he mentioned. At this time, the sky wasn't completely dark, so it wasn't the peak time for the beer kebab shop. When the sun completely set, the effect would be different. There would definitely be a sea of people and red flags fluttering. At this time, there were still many empty seats. Suyin and Yumarin tested the wind direction, and then sat down in a corner. The boss, who had just set up the oven, directly came forward with a bag of Yanjing beer. Brother, drink first. The fire will be ready soon. After that, he put the menu on the table and turned to the waiter. Get some peanuts and edamame for the guests to eat first. Okay. The waiter shouted. In the north, as long as it was a place to eat beer kebab, There would be a plate of peanuts and edamame in the middle of the beer kebab table. When eating beer kebab, you could choose not to eat kidney, plank tendon, or horse bowler fish, but peanuts and edamame were absolutely indispensable. Perhaps this was also a kind of cultural embodiment of the Northerners eating kebab. 2 caddies of lamb chops for chicken wings, 10 horse bowler fish skewers, and 2 kidneys. Plank tendon, crispy bone, heart tube, squid, grill a few of each. Just enough for us to eat. Soo-Yin had already started to order. Fresh clams, fried spicy. Add a cucumber, fried yellow croaker, and a spicy crayfish. Can the 2 of us finish all of this? When Marin heard that Soo-Yin had ordered so many things, she was shocked. We can't finish so much. The boss laughed. Beauty, it's obvious that this is your first time here. Our food here is genuine, and the taste is superb. I guarantee that you will want to eat more after you eat it. Don't worry, I will control the amount. Those who asked me to grill a few of each dish, I will definitely prepare enough for you to eat. If it's not enough later, you can order more. Are you relieved now? I'm afraid that it will be a waste if we can't finish it. Marin said. After all, there are only 2 of us. If you can't finish it, I will return it to you. Ha ha ha, warm it up and I will treat it as a midnight snack. The boss joked humorously. Logically speaking, I shouldn't accept any money from your table today. With such a beautiful woman here to support me, I estimate that my table will be popular in a few minutes. Soo-Yin was also amused. Boss, you have good eyesight. Today's table will really be popular for you. You can give me a discount. Brother, let's make a bet. If the table is full within half an hour, I will waive your bill. If it's full within half an hour, I will not charge you for the drinks and dishes. I will only charge you for the skewers. How about it? The boss said. Meat is expensive now. My genuine mutton skewers are worth 3 yuan. It's really not expensive at all. Deal. Remember what you said. Soo-Yin was absolutely confident in Marin. Sure enough, the effect of having a beautiful woman was great. Originally, it would take at least an hour for the place to warm up, but in just over 20 minutes, the place was full of guests. Moreover, every guest was in high spirits. When they were ordering, they shouted loudly. This table had 10 kidneys, and that table had 8 penises. The waiter looked at the boss with a smile and said, Today's table will definitely be free of charge. Yes, it must be free of charge. Not only will it be free of charge, but I will also add more dishes. The boss laughed and said, Do you know how much profit these 2 guests brought to us today? The people who came to eat today are obviously generous. They don't even care about 3 to 5 caddies of meat skewers. They were very stingy in the past. Go, roast a few more big kidneys for the brothers at that table. Roast them until they are fresher and tender, understand? Of course. The waiter was also working hard. Today's commission was very high. It was all thanks to this handsome guy and this beautiful girl. He would definitely roast this handsome guy's kidney until it was tender. After eating it, he would be able to have a good time at night. After receiving the boss's additional skewers, Soo-Yin really couldn't help but laugh. The prices were so high now. A skewer of kidneys cost 15 yuan. The boss was really generous. He added several skewers at once. Our boss said, Brother, just tell us what you want to eat. It's enough. The waiter put down the kidneys and said generously, I can't eat anymore. You go do your work. Don't worry about us. Soo-Yin smiled and said, Tell your boss that I thank him. Don't be. We should be the ones saying thank you. If it weren't for you sitting here with such good looks, how could you attract so many people? The waiter's mouth was very sweet. It's simply a golden couple. Enjoy. I found that I don't have to pay to eat with you. Marin covered her mouth and laughed. Someone booked the whole place for you at noon, and the boss gave you a free meal at night. Did you run into a lucky cat today? How can you be so lucky? Soo-Yin said proudly. This is not luck. It's character. The more I talk about you, the more powerful you are. Marin smiled and said, Well, let's say your character is off the charts. The 2 drank 1 glass and had already drunk several bottles of beer. Marin put everything down today just to relax. Although she also knew that, in fact, with her identity, even if she had nothing to do, she couldn't drink. But she still couldn't hold back. Just because the other party was Soo-yun, she wanted to have a drink with Soo-yun. But what the two of them never expected was that the little tail that they had shaken off had followed them again. Moreover, the little tail had discovered the kebab shop that they had come to and immediately informed Song-dong. As soon as Song-dong learned the news, he rushed here with people without stopping. He must not let Soo-yun slip away again. Chapter 1871. It seems that we won't be able to afford today's meal. Soo-yun poured the beer into the glass and said to Yumarin, "The boss gave us a free meal and added so many roasted lamb loins. We can't let them overturn the seats here. And otherwise, let's go first. I saw a lot of people coming to us over there." Yumarin was really nervous. "Let's go. Their people are really coming. Don't worry. Eat this skewer and see what they are doing first." Soo-yun had seen this kind of thing too many times, so he was too calm. It was impossible for him to take this kind of thing seriously. "Come with me again?" Yumarin was not in the mood to drink anymore. "Soo-yun, they are all children of families with background in Yenjing City. I think it's better to have less trouble. Let's not lower ourselves to their level. Let them think what they want. Let's go." Soo-yun did not object to this at all. It was really better to have less trouble. But then again, Song-dong brought so many people today. It seemed that he did not intend to let him leave. If they really wanted to teach them a lesson, Soo-yun really didn't mind teaching them a lesson. As long as he did not beat them to the point that even their parents could not recognize them, then this matter was not too big of a problem. Soo-yun still had a very good grasp of this small matter in his heart. "You can't leave. Just eat in peace." Soo-yun smiled. "In a while, I will let these little guys regret provoking a big demon like me." Yumarin had no way to deal with Soo-yun. She had to continue to sit here and eat with him. The people brought by Song-dong all looked at Yumarin covetously, which made Yumarin very uncomfortable. This was the trouble of a goddess. Everywhere she went, there would be pairs of eyes looking at her. "Brother, are you in some kind of trouble?" The owner of the beer skewer stall brought 2 skewers of grilled squid to Soo-yun's table and said, "I think these guys don't have good intentions. If they're looking for trouble with you, you'd better be careful. Do you need me to help you? If I give a call, the brothers nearby will come out to help." Soo-yun smiled and thanked the boss for his kindness. "Boss, you have good eyesight. You can see that it's my trouble. Don't worry, I won't let anyone cause trouble in front of your stall. It definitely won't affect your business." "That's not what I meant. I'm not that narrow-minded." The boss was startled. "Thank you for your kind intentions. But look at what kind of cars those people are driving. Any one of them costs millions. They are the second-generation heirs of the Song group. Brother, it's not that I'm looking down on you, but you really can't afford to offend him." Soo-yun said, "If you let someone help you out today, you won't be able to stay here in the future. Not only you, but the brothers who help out will also not be able to stay here." Soo-yun said this very seriously, and this was definitely the reason. To be honest, the world was like this. As long as the rich were willing to pay, they could use all kinds of methods to make you unable to stay here. It was very simple. It was just a matter of how much money they had. In this sick society, other than terminal illnesses, was there any problem that money couldn't solve? There was almost none. One had to know that money could even buy love. In the past, he always felt that love for money wasn't true love. In fact, he was wrong. In fact, many times, many people would really love someone for money. It was also true love. Money was one of the necessary conditions. Therefore, when facing rich people, it wasn't that you couldn't offend them, but that you really didn't dare to offend them. The owner of this beer skewer stall was definitely not a good person. His business was doing well, and no ruffians dared to cause trouble. What did this mean? This was ability. But compared with the ability of the Song group, his ability was really dwarfed. "Brother, I was really blind. I didn't see that you were a real dragon." The boss laughed. "Then today's matter, I won't care about you. Eat and drink well. If you don't have enough, then give me more. Try my grilled squid. It's definitely fresh. Those squid soaked in formalin can't be compared with my taste." Soo-yun took it and ate it without hesitation. When Yumarin heard formalin, she really couldn't eat it. The main function of formalin didn't seem to be to soak squid, but to soak corpses, right? Vomit. It was a little uncomfortable. Yumarin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she looked at the squid that hadn't been soaked in formalin, but she couldn't eat it. Songdong wasn't in a hurry. He let the people he brought stand not far away and didn't disturb the people eating. He was also afraid that someone would call the police. Songdong wasn't afraid of what the police would do to him, but he was afraid that Su Yin would take advantage of the chaos to leave. Then where would he go to catch him? So he waited quietly, waiting for Su Yin to come over after he finished eating. Anyway, Su Yin's car at the parking lot had been blocked by the people he had arranged. His front, back, left, and right were all blocked, so he absolutely couldn't drive out. Su Yin slowly ate the remaining skewers and drank the beer in the glass. At the same time, he reassured Yumarin and told her not to think too much. This kind of thing would be troublesome for a while, and it would be fine after a while. Now there was no trouble coming to the door. If she was worried first, wouldn't it make the enemy happy? After a few words, Yumarin was amused by Su Yin. When Songdong saw that Su Yin was still in the mood to chat and laugh, he was even more angry. I've been standing here for more than 10 minutes, and you're still eating and drinking, chatting and laughing? Fine. You're really brave. Don't look at how happy you are now. I'll make you cry in a while. Clay didn't come out. He had been sitting in Songdong's sports car. Songdong had promised to give him 10 million, so he listened to Songdong's arrangement. Songdong thought that Clay was a European after all, and it would be too eye-catching to bring him out. If Su Yin saw it, he would definitely guess Clay's identity. At that time, Su Yin would be prepared, and Clay might not have a chance to beat him down. Songdong wanted to be 100% sure. He absolutely couldn't let Su Yin have any chance to breathe. Humph, and I'd like to see if he could throw money on the bed and take the initiative to serve me. D***MN Su Yin, you've repeatedly made things difficult for me. Today, I'll make you kneel down and kowtow to me. Let your woman lie on my bed and serve me. Let's see what kind of temper you have. There is no problem in this world that money can't solve. Songdong glared at Su Yin fiercely. He imagined various endings over and over again in his heart. He imagined Su Yin's various painful expressions. All of this made him feel inexplicably happy. Yes, too happy. Su Yin sneezed twice, looked up in the direction of Songdong, and muttered, D***MN, this grandson actually scolded me secretly behind my back. See how I deal with him later. You can even know this? Yumarin stuck out her tongue. Are you clairvoyant or clairvoyant? Are you done eating? If you're done, let's go and meet them. Su Yin wiped his mouth. When he saw Yumarin nodding, he waved to the boss and said, This kidney is really well roasted. It's fresh and tender. Are you done eating? Then let's go. Be careful on the road. The boss waved his hand and simply reminded him. Su Yin didn't refuse. For such a straightforward person, he just threw a sentence and left. There was no need to waste time. Moreover, Songdong and the others had already been waiting for half an hour. They probably didn't have much patience left. If this continued and they couldn't control themselves, they would rush up and flip the table. Then Su Yin would bring trouble to them. Seeing Su Yin finished eating and got up, Songdong's spirit suddenly rose. He waved his hand vigorously to let all the brothers raise their spirits. The master had spoken. Who dared to disobey? They immediately entered a state of readiness for battle. Su Yin walked step by step to the parking lot. Their hearts were in their throats little by little. Songdong also hurriedly asked Songbei to go to the car and tell Clay to be ready to fight at any time. It would be best to end the battle quickly and not give Su Yin a chance to fight back. This was the downtown area. Even if Songdong had a strong background, he would try to be as quiet as possible. After all, it was better to do less things. Chapter 1872. When Su Yin and Beauty Yu walked to the parking lot, they found that their car had already been surrounded by Songdong's people. There was no gap at all in front, behind, left, and right. They were almost on top of it. No matter how capable they were, it was impossible for them to move the car out. Seeing that there was no way to leave in time, Beauty Yu was as anxious as an ant on a hot pan. Once they were surrounded by the other party's people, Su Yin would definitely hit them. That way, it would be very easy for things to get out of hand. What should we do? How can we leave now? Why don't we just stop driving and take a taxi? Yumarin was only thinking about how to avoid this conflict. However, Su Yin didn't think so much. No matter what trouble he encountered, he would solve it in the proper way. Since the first day Su Yin joined the Dragon Brigade, he had learned the most basic principle. There was nothing in the world that could stop him. I have to drive this car away. Su Yun's lips curled up slightly, revealing an evil smile. He wanted to see what tricks Song Dong could play. Be careful later. Don't get hurt by them. Yumarin glared at Su Yin. Although she was a medic of the Dragon God Special Operations Group, she still participated in the basic training. Generally speaking, 3 to 5 hooligans wouldn't be able to get close to her. Don't underestimate me. I don't care about these hooligans, Yumarin said. I want us to leave as soon as possible. I'm not afraid of them. I'm afraid you'll get into trouble. Su Yin stuck out his tongue. I know what to do. Don't worry. Besides, even if I really get into trouble, Captain One will definitely help me. Don't you think so? Yumarin was completely speechless. This guy had a backup plan in his heart. He knew that the chief would support him. Sai, the rich second generation, was a scammer, and there was also a scammer who would scam the chief. Actually, when he thought about it, even if Su Yin caused a huge mess, as long as it was not a mistake on his own principles, he would definitely protect him. After all, Su Yin was the most talented seedling in the Dragon Brigade for many years. Yumarin and everyone in the army could see that one leader had always wanted to cultivate a successor who could carry the banner of the Dragon Special Operations Group before he completely retired. That successor was Su Yin. If Su Yin had not caused such a big trouble because of Yin Long, one leader would have already started to cultivate Su Yin's real leadership qualities in the past 2 years. Su Yin was too suitable. From the day he could train the troublemakers of the Dragon Special Forces, one leader knew that Su Yin was his most suitable successor. It was a pity that Su Yun's impulse brought about too many changes. Yumarin clearly remembered Su Yun's terrible state after killing people. The people he killed were really in a high position. In order to save Su Yun's life, Wanju almost fell out with all the leaders. He almost exhausted all his power and connections, exhausted all means, and finally managed to save Su Yun's life. At that time, Su Yin was expelled because he wanted to let him live. If Su Yin did not leave at that time, someone would have tried all kinds of ways to kill him. In the days when Su Yin left, one leader spent a lot of effort to completely settle this matter. Therefore, Su Yin still had the identity of a member of the Special Forces now because one leader was behind the scenes. The reason why one leader wanted to save Su Yin at all costs was because Su Yin was the most suitable successor he saw. There were good team members every year, good leaders in every batch, and good instructors were easy to select. However, there was only one person who could truly lead the whole Dragon God Special Operations Group and carry it forward. In the many years since Wan Guangxiao established the Dragon God Special Operations Group, he only saw Su Yin as a good seedling. In these years, the only person who could take on a big responsibility in management was Wang Yi. Unfortunately, Wang Yi's strength had reached the peak because of his talent. He could not continue to break through. It was impossible for him to convince the public with his strength, because a master of the Grandmaster realm could not suppress so many excellent subordinates. The Dragon Brigade had its limits. There were many people who could break through the profound world realm, but they were congenitally deficient in leadership. Therefore, Wan Guangxiao was looking for a person who had both leadership and unlimited potential to break through. Wan Guangxiao searched for this person for a long time before he found Su Yin. He would not easily give up Su Yin, his successor. No matter what the current situation was, no matter what Su Yin's current status was, Wan Guangxiao would definitely hand the team over to Su Yin before he left. Only then would he feel relieved. Although Wan Guangxiao took all of this silently, the people in the Dragon Brigade knew very well that he did this for the future development of the Dragon God Special Operations Group. After all, the Dragon God Special Operations Group was the leader of the Special Operations Group in Huaxia. No matter what, they could not lose to the other Special Operations Group. He needed someone like Su Yin who could support him, someone who could lead the Dragon God Special Operations Group to the peak of Huaxia forever. They were the dragon's head, and they would always be the dragon's head. They could never be worse than the others. Yu Marin looked at the side of Su Yun's face. This man might have only been a captain of the Dragon God's Fury Special Forces, an instructor. But now, it seemed that he was the future of the Dragon God Special Operations Group. Phew. Yu Marin let out a long sigh. Now this future was going to cause trouble for the chief. She hoped that the chief would be able to hold on. Song Dong had already surrounded Su Yun, and Yu Marin with his men in the middle. Because the car was parked in a relatively remote location, although it would be seen by others, no one would particularly care. After all, in today's society, it was already the norm for people to not care about things that had nothing to do with them. As long as it did not affect them, they could pretend that nothing had happened. Even if they saw it, they could pretend that nothing had happened. I didn't expect to meet you so soon. Song Dong walked to Su Yun with a smile. Although his words were directed at Su Yun, his eyes looked at Yu Marin from time to time. This beauty was really beautiful, more beautiful than any woman he had ever carried to bed. Su Yun waved his hand impatiently. Hurry up and ask your men to get out of my way. I don't have any shortcomings. The only thing I have is that I'm impatient. He, is that so? You're impatient, aren't you? Alright, I can make you patient. Song Dong said. Patience needs to be cultivated. Let's start cultivating now. I believe that I can definitely make you realize very quickly that you are actually a very patient person. Yu Marin glared at him and scolded. You'd better not make trouble without reason. The one who will regret it will definitely be you. TSK. Beauty, you are the first woman in my life to scold me. Song Dong said. Since we are so fated, I think I should treat you to a drink. How about it? Do you have time tonight? Come to my place. I have a private wine cellar. Shameless. Yu Marin was angry and ashamed when she heard it. When Su Yun heard Song Dong harassing Yu Marin, his patience was indeed gone. Song Dong, do you think you can do anything to me with a few mobs? You are too naive. I advise you to take your men home early, or you will spend a lot of medical expenses tomorrow. I'll see how long you can be rampant. Song Dong sneered. He had already seen Song Bei and Clay coming out of the car. Clay kept rubbing his fists. He couldn't wait to get his hands on the 10 million. Obviously, he knew very well that if he wanted to make this money, he had to knock down the man beside the beautiful girl. There was another point. Besides the 10 million yuan, Clay also wanted this woman. He knew that as long as he could knock down the man in front of him, he could get this woman. This was a very, very simple problem. As long as it was a problem that could be solved with fists, it was not a problem for Clay. Su Yun felt a breath. Oh, he really didn't expect that Song Dong would specially invite someone to deal with him. This was interesting. Su Yun wanted to see who was so ungrateful that he dared to accept Song Dong's business. After Yu Marin felt that something was wrong, she quickly turned around. A typical European appeared not far behind them. Yu Marin's heart was in her throat. It seemed that Su Yun would definitely not be too gentle today. She could only hope that one leader would help him clean up the mess. Chapter 1873. Su Yun, I'll show you today. What right do you have to be so arrogant? The complacent expression on Song Dong's face was completely hard to conceal. He was extremely confident in Clay's self-confidence. After all, an expert who could overturn so many people with just his two fists was the most likely person to beat Su Yun to the ground. Did you ask for outside help? Do you think you're playing in the Chinese Super League or the CBA? You're competing for outside help? Su Yun was helpless. Today's event isn't a sports competition, right? Oh, no, if this is considered a free fight, then it's also a sports competition. Unfortunately, outside help doesn't have a 100% advantage in this aspect, right? When Song Dong heard Su Yun's analysis, he wasn't happy. In his eyes, outside help was awesome. Who said outside help doesn't have an advantage? When Mayweather and Pacquiao fought, Mayweather still won. Pacquiao didn't give the Asians any face. Su Yun nodded and rubbed his chin. You're right. But that's professional boxing. It's a profession. Many of us who don't belong to this profession are not allowed to participate. Otherwise, I believe the competition would be more exciting. Soo-yeon watched that competition and was quite disappointed. It was too boring. Neither of them even had a bruise on their face. Some people thought that Running Plum's constant dodging was good footwork, but Soo-yeon felt that this guy was really unprofessional. They got so much prize money in one go. What else did they do other than create hype? He really should let those rich and famous people who fly to watch boxing matches watch the International Special Forces individual competition. That was really ruthless. Compared to that, this was really child's play. It wasn't even worth mentioning. That kind of competition didn't have so much performance. It was a competition of ability. Whoever had the ability would stand. Whoever didn't have the willpower to persevere, or who completely exhausted himself, would lie down. There was no turn-based system, no point comparison, and no time to talk about the competition. In that kind of fight, only one person could stand in the end. The situation of two people standing at the same time had never happened before. Soo-yeon felt that he should appeal to the professional boxing organization to set up new rules. When two people fought in a boxing match, one of them had to lie down. Otherwise, how could the winner be determined? Points were meaningless. Would it be considered a win if he managed to land 2 or 3 more punches? On what basis? That way, the referee would have a very large governing factor. Punches with valid points might not necessarily hurt people, and punches with invalid points might not necessarily not make people tremble. Therefore, some things should be changed. That way, there wouldn't be a situation where two boxing champions' faces weren't even injured in a $300 million boxing match. Soo-yeon didn't believe that the two boxing champions weren't doing it for money. He had seen professional boxers, as well as underground boxers in Europe and America. Compared to those underground boxers, the boxing champions were not as desperate. Their fights were not much of a spectacle. Today's matter had nothing to do with the boxing match. Soo-yeon's opponent, Clay, was not a professional boxer. Looking at Clay's appearance, he was a typical white Englishman. If it weren't for the faint murderous aura exuding from him, Soo-yeon would have been deceived by this man's gentle and gentlemanly appearance. He didn't look like a rough man at all. He looked more like an elegant British royal. "Clay, I'll leave this person to you today," Song-dong said proudly. "I won't mistreat you after it's done." "Oh, you want to hire someone to kill someone?" Soo-yeon understood what Song-dong meant. He smiled and asked Clay, "How much did he pay you to take my life?" Clay did not answer Soo-yeon's question. Instead, he was already preparing to attack him. Soo-yeon shrugged his shoulders. He had warned this fellow out of goodwill. If it were Soo-yeon, he would have a bounty of $100 million. After the incident in the Pacific Ocean and Soo-yeon's departure, his value there was directly comparable to the $80 million of the Magpie World's #1 instructor. If Clay knew about that incident and Song-dong offered him $10 million, how would he feel? He would regret it, wouldn't he? Of course, it wasn't that he would regret not asking for more money, but that he would regret provoking such a person with such a high value. This was not an opponent he could take down. Clay, who had been kept in the dark, still regarded Soo-yeon as an ordinary person. Finally, Clay made his move. He saw the $10 million waving at him. Clay, who wanted to kill his opponent with one blow, quickly realized that he was wrong. When his wrist was caught in Soo-yeon's hand, he was dumbfounded. What great strength! He couldn't break free from his opponent's control. No matter how hard he tried, his wrist couldn't move under Soo-yeon's control. After Soo-yeon grabbed his opponent's wrist, the first thing he saw was the tattoo on Clay's inner forearm. It was a black fox with fangs open. Soo-yeon's eyes widened. He knew the tattoo of the black fox too well. It was the tattoo of Europe's #1 violent killer organization, Black Fox Group. The Black Fox Group had not been established for many years, but it had developed at the fastest speed to become the most terrifying violent organization in Western Europe. Old mafia families were no match for them at all. Because they went against the Black Fox Group, many leaders of the mafia families were beheaded overnight. It was such an emerging violent killer organization. No one under its banner was an ordinary person. They were all professional killers. This also subverted people's ideas. Normally, professional killers like to act independently. Once they formed a group, they became a mercenary group. Because of the independence of professional killers, they could hide their identity and live in the city. This was their advantage. A mercenary group was a large-scale group. If they were in the city, the government would definitely encircle and arrest them. Therefore, this was the biggest difference between a killer and a mercenary. It was precisely this Black Fox group that made up for the killer's disadvantage of being independent. Because of the killer's independence, although they could live in the city, it was difficult for the government to detect them. However, they would always leave traces behind. Once they were detected by hunters, they were likely to be hunted down. This was the biggest reason for the killer's death. Hunters relied on this kind of bounty, so they would hunt down lone assassins without limit. Over the years, many killers had also realized this. If they were to act alone, it was impossible for them to fight against organized hunters. In the end, they would be the ones to die. The Black Fox group appeared at this time. They made up for the needs of most of the killers, and also allowed the killers to live better in the city. As for who established this organization, it was still a mystery. However, the killers in their organization would have a tattoo of a black fox with fangs on their inner forearm. What did this mean? It meant that once the killers had an organization, they would not be so easily bullied. Although their organization had never surfaced at all, and no one had ever seen a gathering of killers, it really did solve the dangerous situation of killers being independent. Because of this, it even led to the overflow of killers in Western Europe a few years ago. Because of this, many countries had sent people to investigate this matter, but there was no news or response. As the recognized number one killer in the world, CFAIs also participated in the investigation, but he still did not get any results. On the contrary, CFAIs had received many invitations from this organization, inviting him to become the leader of their organization and participate in the development of their Black Fox group. Su Yin remembered very clearly that this matter was arranged for the members of the Dragon Battle Special Forces to participate in the investigation. After returning, they found nothing. There were so many countries in Europe, it was impossible for them to search inch by inch. The other party was very cunning and did not leave any clues for them. They had no idea where to start at all. The investigation team arranged by Hua Xia was the same as the investigation teams arranged by other international organizations, and they could not solve this problem. Su Yin was still brooding about this matter. At that time, he was dealing with another tricky matter, so he could not bring people to investigate Black Fox. Later, Black Fox fell into a period of silence, which was said to be caused by an internal power usurpation. During this period of time, Black Fox stopped. Although they occasionally appeared to do something later, most of the time they were still hidden, and it was still difficult to be traced. Now standing in front of Su Yin, Clay was the first member of the Black Fox group that Su Yin saw. Haha, I didn't expect to have an unexpected harvest today. In that case, I really have to thank Song Dong. Chapter 1874. Bro, the tattoo is not bad. Su Yun's smile made Clay completely unable to figure out what he meant. However, the fact that his tattoo had been seen through had already made Clay somewhat fearful. Su Yun's smile made Clay unable to figure out what he meant. Did he see through his tattoo's identity, or was he simply sighing at how beautiful the tattoo was? Clay once again suddenly exerted force to break free from Su Yun's control. All of this made Song Dong extremely disappointed. In his fantasy, Clay would be able to knock down Su Yun with a single move, and then Su Yun would be constantly hugging his head and begging for mercy, begging for his forgiveness. At that time, Song Dong would be able to stand arrogantly in front of Su Yun and ask him to lick his shoes. He would let the big beauty beside him see that he, Song Dong, definitely had a way to convince Su Yun. At that time, this big beauty would look down on Su Yun and fall in love with him. All of this should have developed in this direction, but what was the current situation? Clay's attack was actually blocked by Su Yun in an ordinary manner. Originally, Clay's domineering aura was also gone. In front of Su Yun, he didn't have the ability to summon the wind and summon the rain. What about the momentum in the afternoon when he relied on his own strength to knock down so many people? Song Dong really wanted to question what was going on in Clay's mind. However, he didn't know how to open his mouth. After all, this Clay was also a terrifying person in his eyes. Song Dong, you can do it. Hire an assassin. Su Yun's words inadvertently revealed that he knew what the black fox head tattoo was. After Clay realized that his identity was exposed, he would more or less be a bit flustered. If it was anywhere other than Huaxia, he really had nothing to be afraid of, but this was Huaxia. He was obviously very worried. Huaxia had always been a taboo place in this regard. No one wanted to cause trouble in Huaxia because the organization said that no one would help clean up the mess caused in Huaxia. Therefore, no one wanted to cause trouble in Huaxia. Song Dong was a bit dumbfounded when he heard Su Yun's words. He didn't understand what Su Yun meant. Assassin? In his eyes, Clay was just a hired thug. He would choose him because he was a foreigner. If he killed Su Yun, he could run away immediately. If he couldn't run away, then as a foreigner who didn't have any foundation or connections here, he could be the scapegoat. He could wash his hands of this matter clean. Who would have thought that this person was a professional assassin? This was a bit too ridiculous. But this way, Song Dong felt a little better. He spent so much money to hire a professional assassin. Today's matter really couldn't run away. He must make Su Yun die here. Although Clay and Su Yun's fight only lasted for a moment, he had a rough idea of Su Yun's strength. He wouldn't be stupid enough to fight head-on. Moreover, his identity was exposed, but he didn't know who the other party was. But one thing was for sure. The person who knew his identity was definitely not a simple person. How could an ordinary person recognize the Black Fox portrait? In terms of strength, he was definitely on par with the people of Black Fox. At this moment, Clay felt that something was wrong. It wasn't good to stay here for long. It was better for him to leave this place as soon as possible. Young Master Song, I'm not earning this money. You should find someone else. After Clay finished speaking, he turned around and was about to leave. Song Dong was dumbfounded. Song Bei's other brothers were also completely stunned. What the hell was going on? He quit just like that. Song Dong reacted anxiously after he reacted. What do you mean? Do you think I'll do it just because you said I'll do it? Do you think I'm a King grocery seller? Hearing Song Dong's anxiousness, Clay glared at him fiercely. He was afraid of Su Yun because Su Yun had the ability to trap him in Huaxia. And this Song Dong? Other than being rich, he had nothing at all. Even now, it was impossible for him to stop her from leaving. A murderous aura smashed towards Song Dong. Song Dong had never experienced such a situation. This murderous aura made his whole body tremble. For the first time, he felt like his legs were filled with lead. He couldn't lift his legs at all. He couldn't move at all. He really wanted to retreat and avoid this person who was full of murderous aura, but he couldn't move even half a step. Those who didn't know the truth really admired him. They thought that Song Dong wasn't affected by the murderous aura at all, and didn't care about the threat at all. What do you think? I have the right to decide whether to help you or not. Don't treat me the way you treat the group of trash around you. Clay sneered. No one can stop me from doing what I want to do. Song Bei saw that the atmosphere wasn't right and hurriedly came forward to smooth things over. We're all on the same side. There's no need to be unhappy over such a small matter. What could Song Dong say? He didn't dare to look directly into Clay's eyes. Clay didn't want to waste time. Leaving a second earlier was an advantage for him. Yo, aren't these words a bit too arrogant? No one can stop you from doing what you want to do? Su Yun, who was standing at the side, chuckled. These words were a little too big. How immodest. Then if you want to leave now and I don't let you leave, would it be considered as stopping you? You don't have to do that, do you? To be honest, Clay didn't want to confront Su Yun at all. I'm afraid there's no relationship between the two of us. You still have to deal with these people's troubles. I'm afraid you don't have time to waste with me. Su Yun glanced at the dozen or so parasites that Song Dong's four brothers brought over. You know that these people are just a bunch of trash to us. You don't want to cause trouble for yourself. Clay was very calm right now. He knew all too well that once he got entangled with this person in front of him, he would be in danger. Brother, I'm afraid the one in trouble is you. Suyun twisted his neck. If you come to Huaxia to do this kind of business, you have to be prepared to get yourself involved in trouble. This money isn't easy to earn, right? We don't have any grudges. Why do we have to make both sides suffer? Clay still hoped that this matter could be resolved peacefully. Suyun glanced at his wrist. What I'm interested in is the tattoo on your arm. You know. That's just a picture I like. It has nothing to do with anything else. I think you might be mistaken. As Clay spoke, he was already trying to find a way out. He wanted to leave this damn place. He had to leave. Just as the two of them were talking back and forth, Song Dong was about to break down. They didn't put him in their eyes at all. Was he just air? It had to be known that he was the main character who planned everything today. He was the real mastermind behind the scenes. No matter what story it was impossible to throw the mastermind behind the scenes aside, right? Did these people even consider his feelings? Song Dong, who had never been ignored like this, couldn't take it anymore. Do you still have me in your eyes? Remember, one of you was hired by me, and the other is my opponent. This matter has something to do with me. Song Dong roared anxiously. He had already lost his mind long ago. If Suyun wanted to deal with an assassin, Yumarin would definitely support this point. After all, an assassin was harmful to social stability. However, she didn't support Suyun taking action against these hedonistic sons. It was too easy to get into trouble. Now was the time for her to stand up. Yumarin suddenly said to Song Dong, "It's not too late to talk about other things if you can get past me first." How could a woman dare to bully him? Song Dong shouted angrily. He didn't care about being gentle with women anymore. So what if she was a woman? If she made him unhappy, he would teach her a lesson. Song Dong, who had evil intentions, directly took the lead and pounced on Yumarin. Yumarin didn't hesitate and kicked Song Dong in the chest, sending him flying. Her strength wasn't just for show. Otherwise, she would have wasted her time in the Dragon Brigade. Song Dong staggered and fell. Yumarin turned around and kicked Song Bei, who was beside her, to the ground. In the blink of an eye, two of the Song brothers had been dealt with. This had shocked everyone present. This girl wasn't just a flower vase. She was capable. Chapter 1875. Seeing that the two young masters of the Song family had been taken down by a woman, the vermin who usually followed the Song brothers to eat and drink naturally had to show their loyalty. In the face of powerful characters, they didn't dare to act rashly. But in the face of a woman, and a beautiful woman at that, of course, they had to show their usefulness and take advantage of her. With this thought in mind, a group of people swarmed up and directly pounced on Yumarin. Moreover, they were scrambling to be the first. After all, if they were to fall in the periphery, they probably wouldn't even be able to touch the hand, let alone touch the other parts. If they didn't take a bite of this kind of fat meat hanging at the edge of the mouth, it would really be a big loss. Yumarin's name was so compatible with her. Many people knew that Yumarin was a beautiful flower in the poppy family, but she was poisonous all over, especially the fruit. Under the beautiful appearance, there was an amazing poison hidden. This was Yumarin, a beautiful flower that could be seen from afar and not touched. If you wanted to provoke Yumarin, unless you had the ability like Suyun, only death would await you. The first guy who pounced on her quickly learned what it meant to be a moth to a flame. Yumarin bounced up with one leg, and her knee rushed up like a cannonball, directly hitting the guy's chest. The guy who was hit flew out with a scream and fell heavily on the ground, unable to get up again. Before the second guy could react, Yumarin's elbow directly hit his throat. People who had their throats injured knew how painful this kind of pain was. The second guy didn't even make a sound, and began to roll on the ground with his throat in pain. The feeling of difficulty breathing and being unable to swallow was really unbearable. While the second guy was still in pain, Yumarin's right arm fiercely hit the third guy's chest. The third guy was directly smashed to the ground, and with a bang his entire back was broken. In the blink of an eye, Yumarin knocked down 5 people, including Song Dong and Song Bei. Yumarin's skill was enough to make these guys dumbfounded. A beautiful woman who looked petite and weak actually had such skills. She was much fiercer than the guys they usually saw who could fight. At this time, The rest of the people did not dare to act rashly. They all obediently stopped and took small steps back. No one wanted to be the next cannon fodder. Losing to a woman was not only embarrassing, but it also looked like it would really hurt. At the very least, the first 3 guys that were killed by Yumarin were still in so much pain that they couldn't stand up. Yumarin saw that her encirclement had begun to retreat. She clapped her hands disdainfully. With this little ability, they wanted to provoke Su Yin. It was impossible for them to even get past her. Song Dong, who had regained his composure, flew into a rage out of humiliation. It was fine if he couldn't beat Su Yin, but if he couldn't even handle a woman, then he wouldn't be able to survive in Yanjing City. If this spread out, he would have no face. Today, I will definitely sleep with this woman, Song Dong said fiercely. All of you better be careful. Take her down and hold her down for me. I'm going to do her on the spot. Song Dong, who was driven to desperation, could really do anything. Not to mention committing violence on a girl in the street. Even if he stripped 10 girls in the street, his father would still have the ability to settle it for him. As long as there was money, there was almost nothing in this society that couldn't be solved. For a scum like Song Dong, the bad things that he had done were really innumerable, and he could escape punishment every time. Relying on the strength of his family, relying on his father's money, and his father's power, relying on the fact that no one dared to fight with his family. When he was in junior high school, Song Dong tricked a girl in his class to go to the top floor of an abandoned office building and raped her. The girl was knocked unconscious by him. Later, she was locked on the top floor of this empty office building. Because she didn't get help for many days, she was trapped there and died. Her body was only found a month later. This matter wasn't untraceable because Song Dong's family had power, so even if it was traced, they had the ability to erase the evidence and let Song Dong continue to get away with it. It might sound scary, but this kind of thing really happened to us. Song Dong looked like a playboy, but when it came to breaking the law, what he had done was no less than those hoodlums from the underworld. Not all evil people would commit evil deeds. This guy who looked like a dog on a daily basis had done a lot of evil deeds. It was just that these were all dealt with by the huge backing behind them. The truth of these things would always be buried in the depths of the unknown. Hearing Song Dong being so arrogant, Yumarin's disgust in her heart began to turn into a kind of evil thought. Thinking about it carefully, if this kind of bully could do this kind of thing, then he must have bullied a lot of girls. She would definitely not let go of such a person. Because Yumarin's power was still there, although Song Dong gave the order, the underlings around him were indifferent. Song Shi and Song Nan also had lingering fears. After helping Song Bei up, they didn't intend to take action. Song Dong found that his order was not responded to, and Wu Ming's evil anger was even greater. At this chaotic juncture, Clay found the best time to escape. He didn't talk nonsense with Su Yin anymore. He turned around and rushed out of the crowd. Although Su Yin had never relaxed his vigilance, he couldn't help but be attracted by Yumarin's performance just now. In the blink of an eye, this Black Fox member fled. Su Yin was really a little angry, but now that Yumarin was entangled with this group of people, Su Yin really couldn't be at ease. Yumarin had known Su Yin for so long. The expression on his face meant that she knew what he was thinking too well. Hurry up and chase after him. Don't let such a dangerous person escape. Yumarin quickly made a judgment. I really don't care about these scum here. But if you don't catch that dangerous person, it will really be your dereliction of duty. Su Yin smiled knowingly, gave Yumarin a thumbs up, then turned around and chased out. Just like how Yumarin understood Su Yin also understood Yumarin quite well. He knew that Yumarin wouldn't easily make a move, but once she made a move, these people facing her would be miserable. Yumarin was very angry, and the consequences were very serious. Su Yin rushed in Clay's direction. This caused Song Dong and the others to be at a loss. Could it be that they weren't his opponents? How did it become Clay? That guy was just an outsider. Was it necessary to let Su Yin throw such a beauty into their wolf den to chase after her? Yumarin glared at Song Dong fiercely. Aren't you going to do me on the spot now? Alright, let's give it a try then. I want to see who will be the one to execute the other on the spot. This shout directly caused the momentum of Songdong and the others to retreat by half. Then, Yumarin flew up and kicked the person closest to her. Without saying a word, she directly rushed towards Songdong. Without waiting for Songdong to react, Yumarin ruthlessly kicked Songdong's crotch. Songdong's entire face directly turned red, then directly turned dark green, and then dark purple. Perhaps only Songdong himself could understand the pain and change in this change. Not to mention the person who suffered it. Even the bystanders couldn't help but feel their balls ache and their chrysanthemums tighten. Probably no one wanted to experience the power of this kick, right? Painful screams and groans came out from Songdong's throat after more than 10 seconds. That kind of scream was so cruel, and this kind of cruel sound made people who heard it feel so desperate. The pain of despair was contagious to everyone present. It wasn't that Yumarin didn't have sympathy, but that she had no concept of sympathy for this kind of person. After one kick, it still wasn't enough. Yumarin followed up with a second kick. This kick was fatal to Songdong. The huge psychological and physical pain made Songdong directly go into shock. Chapter 1876. Suyin only wasted the time of a sentence to chase after him, but Clay had already run more than 100 meters away. Suyin didn't dare to waste too much time. Places like Yanjing, where people ate skewers and beer, were definitely considered a bustling city at this time. There were many people and it was chaotic. If he didn't control an assassin in this situation, it would be very dangerous. Clay's mind was now thinking about how to leave this troublesome place, and how to leave Huaxia a step earlier. If the identity of the Black Fox group wasn't exposed, he wouldn't be so flustered. Before Clay could figure out the identity of his opponent, he didn't want to easily fight with the other party. The two of them, one chasing and one running, Clay crazily bumped into everyone. The people he bumped into scolded him unhappily, but before they could calm down, they were bumped by Suyin again. The people who were bumped into repeatedly wondered if they should check the almanac before leaving home. I'm sorry. Suyin kept apologizing as he pursued. Because Clay wasn't familiar with Yanjing streets, his running speed was definitely slower. Moreover, as more people noticed them, some people had taken the initiative to avoid Suyin's pursuit, so the distance between the two of them was getting shorter and shorter. Clay didn't think much when he saw an intersection and turned directly. He was like a headless fly, turning wherever he saw a turn without any hesitation. In this way, he still had a certain advantage, so Suyin couldn't judge his route. Just like this, the two of them chased for more than 10 minutes. Clay didn't know when he got into the old alleys of Yanjing. Yanjing's old alleys were messy, in and out left and right. Generally, people who weren't familiar with them would think that they were running into a maze. Clay soon began to realize that the road here made him dizzy, but he didn't know which way to go out. Suyin also felt dizzy in the alleys, and he couldn't let Clay widen the distance. Once the other party took 2 more turns, he might not be able to find him at all. As Clay became more and more flustered, the distance between him and Suyin was getting closer and closer. Finally, Suyin got his chance. Clay made a wrong choice at a corner, and turned into a dead end. Seeing that there was no way out in front of him, Clay knew that this battle was unavoidable. Clay suddenly stopped. Suyin also stopped in time. Looking at his opponent who had been forced into a dead end, Suyin revealed a faint smile. Bro, don't run. Suyin smiled. I'm almost done running. I'm tired. I feel like my throat is on fire. Are you really going to run out of Yanjing City on your feet? That's impossible. Clay quickly adjusted his breathing rhythm. It can't be that bad, right? You chased me all the way here for such a trivial matter. Who exactly are you? My identity isn't important. What's important is your identity. Suyin raised his eyebrows. You're an assassin of the Black Fox group. I'm sure of that. Now that you can't run away, let's have a good talk. What's there to talk about? Clay's breathing gradually calmed down. What's your name? Suyin, don't hide it. There was no need to hide his name. It was just a title. Clay. Suyin nodded. What's your position in the Black Fox group? Of course, Clay couldn't admit that he was a member of the Black Fox group. I said, I don't know what Black Fox is. It's just a tattoo on my arm that I like. That's all. Soo-yun shook his head helplessly. You're still so stubborn? I remember your tattoo very clearly. Otherwise, I spent so much effort chasing you all the way here just to have a chat with you. I have nothing better to do. Then who are you? Clay knew that he couldn't fool Chen Xiaolian anymore. He was ready to attack at any moment. However, it was still beneficial for him to figure out his opponent's identity. At the very least, he could roughly determine what kind of abilities his opponent possessed. Soo-yun found it laughable. Do you think I'll tell you who I am? Then die and become a nameless ghost. Clay growled angrily in a low voice. Then he suddenly attacked Soo-yun. His move was vicious and insidious. He pulled out a dagger from somewhere on his body and stabbed it directly at Soo-yun's lower body. This saber strike was quite sudden. Even though Soo-yun was prepared, he was still shocked by the speed of this sudden attack. This speed proved that his opponent was not a simple person. Although Soo-yun managed to dodge the first attack, Clay quickly followed up with a second stab, directly cutting Soo-yun's throat. His first attack was a killing move. Clearly, this Clay was someone who killed without batting an eyelid. Just based on this fellow's move, Soo-yun absolutely would not let him off easily. God knows how many lives this guy has taken. Not bad. As expected of someone that the Black Fox group has taken a liking to. Soo-yun chuckled. You are indeed outstanding. Clay's two attacks were aimed at Soo-yun's vital points, but he didn't manage to hurt him at all. Clearly, this guy's strength was terrifying. You're not bad too. Hee, it seems that my luck is quite good. It's my first time in Huaxia, and I'm already able to meet someone from the Huaxia Special Forces. Soo-yun was slightly stunned. This guy actually guessed his identity? Don't talk nonsense. I'm not qualified to be a member of the Special Forces. Soo-yun spread his hands. You think too highly of me. Clay sneered. He still said that he didn't want to admit his identity as a member of the Black Fox group. Wasn't this guy unwilling to admit his identity as well? If he wasn't a member of the Special Forces, who else could he be? He didn't have any equipment on him at all. He clearly knew his identity as a member of the Black Fox group. Yet he still dared to chase after him? Other than the members of the Special Forces, who else would dare to do this? Even if the armed special police knew his identity as an assassin, they would only dare to come after him with a heavily armed and heavily guarded small team, right? If he came alone, he must be a powerful character. Then let me meet the members of the Huaxia Special Forces. Clay smiled slightly. Let's see if your people are more ruthless, or my Black Fox group's people are more ruthless. I've killed all kinds of people, but I've never killed anyone from the Huaxia Special Forces. Today, I'll start with you. Okay, I like this. Soo-yun. Today in this alley, only one person can walk out alive. Whether it's you or me, let's arm wrestle. It's better to talk with your fists than with your mouth. The two of them were at each other's throats. Although Soo-yun was bare-handed, he wasn't at a disadvantage. Clay didn't have much of an advantage even though he had a weapon. After more than 10 moves, Soo-yun finally found a mistake on Clay's part. He controlled his wrist that was holding the knife, breaking the bones and tendons, forcing Clay to throw away the dagger in his hand. After throwing away the dagger, Clay's combat power plummeted. People who relied on weapons for a long time would always make such a mistake. They didn't know what to do after losing their weapon. Just as Soo-yun was about to win, the door of a house in the alley suddenly opened. An old lady walked out and said very discontentedly, "What time is it now? Why are you still making a ruckus? This is ridiculous." The old lady appeared too suddenly. Soo-yun didn't realize that there was such a danger. Clay wouldn't let go of such a good opportunity. He suddenly attacked the old lady. The old lady was knocked to the ground by him. Her head hit the ground, and she went into shock. After attacking, Clay didn't delay for a second. He immediately jumped over the wall and fled. Soo-yun clenched his fists so hard that they were about to shatter. But at this moment he couldn't just leave the old lady unconscious and ignore her. After all, he was responsible for this matter. He didn't protect the safety of the people. Everything was his fault. Grandma? Wake up. Soo-yun didn't continue chasing. He chose the more important matter in front of him, saving people. The old lady was unconscious and couldn't respond. Su-Yun quickly dialed the hospital's emergency number. He looked at the house number on the wall of the alley and said the address clearly. If they were to delay here for a few minutes, Clay would have already escaped without a trace. Su-Yun was a little disappointed. He slammed his fist on the ground. The Black Fox Group was an organization that the international community wanted to investigate thoroughly. However, they couldn't catch their members and didn't have the opportunity to investigate. Su-Yun, one of them, had escaped from his hands. Of course, he couldn't accept it. Sigh. Chapter 1877. Although he was annoyed, the most important thing now was to save people. After the ambulance arrived, Su-Yun realized that the old lady was the only one living in the house. She was probably the kind of old lady who lived alone after her children went abroad and her husband passed away. Su-Yun must be involved in this matter. He had to make sure that the old lady was fine. No matter what happened, he had to be responsible to the end. Even if Clay was the one who pushed her, it was only because Su-Yun had forced him into a corner. That was why he had done such an immoral thing. The ambulance arrived soon. Su-Yun directly accompanied the old lady to the hospital. Just as she arrived at the hospital and watched the old lady enter the emergency room, "Beauty, you called." However, the old lady's condition had not improved yet. Su-Yun's heart was in his throat. After hearing Su-Yun's annoyed and powerless voice, Yumarin immediately understood that the matter had not been solved smoothly. "What's wrong? What's the trouble?" "It's a long story. How about your side? Have you solved it?" Of course, Su-Yun was also worried about Yumarin's situation. Although Yumarin was definitely a female dragon once she got angry, the other side had a lot of people. There was no guarantee that something would go wrong. Don't fight with them. Su-Yun was worried that Songdong would call for more help. Although Yumarin had been trained, she was a girl after all, not a professional fighter. She was just a doctor, a special doctor in the special forces, so she could not always be in a fighting state. "I have no problem here. It's been solved," Yumarin said. "But the car can't be driven out for a while. Don't come to get the car first." They called for more people. "I guess the family background of these guys is very powerful. I don't want to cause more trouble, so I found a chance to escape." Su-Yun was stunned. Songdong would not go that far. How could such a small thing disturb his family? One had to know that the current situation was that he was bullying a girl with a group of freeloaders. How could his family care about this matter? Following that, Yumarin told the truth. "I think I accidentally hit the leader too hard." "I directly? No way." Su-Yun was dumbfounded. "You've been reminding me to control my strength. Why are you so heavy-handed? Are you sure you've killed him?" "Who said I killed someone?" Yumarin pursed her lips. "I didn't kill anyone. I don't have the guts. I just accidentally kicked him a little too hard. Maybe. After all, Yumarin was a girl. She really couldn't say these words. This made Su-Yun anxious. Su-Yun held the phone blankly. "What did you do to him?" "I might have crippled him," Yumarin said, biting her lips. Only then did Su-Yun come to a realization. Last time, when the young masters of the Song family were racing with him in Futian, it was said that one of them had already been crippled in a car accident. Now, Beauty, you had been crippled by this eldest young master, who was also the absolute successor of the Song Corporation. Then the Song's group would have no descendants. Su-Yun sighed. Last time it was not Songdong, the absolute successor, who was crippled, and it was related to Futian. The two families were evenly matched, so it didn't make any big noise. But this time, it was different. This time, Songdong's root was broken. If this woman was ruthless, it could really be unbearable. Songdong, you're unlucky. You're ruthless enough. You ran away well. Now you can't go back. You don't know how many people there are waiting for you to walk into the trap. Su-Yun. This time it's a little big. Now you'd better stay away. Don't suffer losses. Where are you? I'll go to find you. Yumarin had never experienced such a thing, so she was really scared. Only when she was with Su-Yun could she eliminate this fear. Soo-Yun scratched his head. I'm in the number 3 hospital. Are you hurt? Before Soo-Yun finished speaking, Yumarin shouted worriedly. No, I'm not hurt. It's the guy from the Black Fox group. He was pushed to the edge by me. There happened to be an old lady, so he pushed her to the ground. The old lady was too old to bear the pain, so she passed out on the spot. Soo-Yun said helplessly. I had no choice but to save her first. The guy from the Black Fox group ran away. I went to the hospital with the ambulance. The old lady has no family, so I must take responsibility for this. Then wait for me at the number 3 hospital. I'll go to you right away. Yumarin was also worried. It didn't matter if they didn't catch the culprit, but if an innocent person was hurt because of Soo-Yun, then Soo-Yun really had to take responsibility for this. After Yumarin hung up the phone, she called a taxi and rushed to the number 3 hospital. She couldn't let Soo-Yun take responsibility and face it alone. She had to face this responsibility together with Soo-Yun. Besides, she was a doctor, and her medical skills were definitely the best in the Dragon Brigade. She had to help Soo-Yun solve this kind of problem. The taxi's speed was quite fast. Yumarin also felt lucky today. The road in the Great Yin capital was actually not so congested. It took less than 20 minutes to send Yumarin to the number 3 hospital. Yumarin was a medical worker. She knew very well where the old lady would be sent to in this kind of situation. She didn't need to ask Soo-Yun at all. Yumarin quickly arrived at the scene. The old lady's rescue continued. Soo-Yun frowned outside the emergency room, waiting for the doctor to bring him good news. Yumarin didn't disturb him. She just stood quietly beside Soo-Yun and gently hugged Soo-Yun, hoping that he wouldn't think too much. Soon the doctor in the emergency room came out. Who is the patient's family? Soo-Yun was slightly stunned. He didn't know where to find the patient's family, so he could only take on this identity himself. It's me. I'm the patient's family. She's so old. You have to take good care of her. She might fall and never get up again. The doctor was obviously very disgusted by Soo-Yun's negligence, so he didn't have a good attitude towards him. Having an old person at home is like having a treasure. Be filial. Don't wait until your parents pass away, and then regret that you didn't spend more time with them, understand? You misunderstood, doctor. Yumarin immediately stood up to help Soo-Yun out. She took out the identification that represented her identity as a Special Forces medic. Actually, I'm not the old lady's family. He's not either. We just sent the old lady here because of a coincidence. Then the doctor in the number 3 hospital understood in his heart. He respected the two of them. This is bravery. Learn from Comrade Lei Feng's good example. But what? You know that any medical operation we perform is risky. I hope that we can get the signed consent form from the patient's immediate family. The doctor said, we can only proceed with the next step of the operation if her family agrees. Soo-Yun was dumbfounded. Asking him to look for the old lady's immediate family was no different from looking for a needle in a haystack. After all, the old lady couldn't speak at all. Even if she did, Soo-Yun might not be able to wait for her to come. Rules are dead, but people are alive. Let's be flexible. Soo-Yun said, let's save the patient first. That won't do. Even if I don't say it. You must have heard of the medical disputes over the years. Once the operation is risky, if the patient's family doesn't sign the consent form, we won't dare to take the responsibility easily. Soo-Yun glared. Fine, I'll take the responsibility. None of you will, but I'll take the responsibility. Then if something happens, can you take the responsibility? The doctor was slightly stunned. I'll go to the operating theater with you. Yumarin was also ready. Are the two of you joking? The doctor was a little angry. Stop fooling around. This is a hospital. You can't make such jokes. Who said I'm joking with you? I'm really going to help. I'm also a doctor. I know all this. Yumarin said, don't worry, I'm definitely in the industry. Soo-Yun nodded. Doctor, just believe in her. She's still very capable. I've been in desperate situations many times, and it was always her who helped me escape. If this was a delay in medical treatment, once word got out, public opinion would not care about the rules. The public would definitely think that it was their negligence as a doctor, that it was their dereliction of duty that led to the delay in treatment. This kind of thing was really hard to explain. When the time comes, your dean will definitely find someone to take responsibility for it. At that time, you will all be suckers, right? Soo-Yun said. Why don't you explain the situation to your director now, and ask him to verify her identity and see if she's a competent doctor? Then, allow her to participate in the operation. In this way, if something goes wrong, you can even shift the blame to us. You won't have to bear the pressure of public opinion. Why don't you do it? Please wait a moment. I'll deal with this matter right away. After thinking it through, the doctor quickly called the director of the hospital to ask about this matter. He also explained the seriousness of this matter to the director in detail. He wanted the director to make the decision. If something went wrong, the director wouldn't be able to bear the responsibility for it. Soon after a series of discussions, the hospital gave Umaran the authority. To be honest, it was impossible for them to let Umaran do anything in the operating room. They just wanted to find someone to take the blame if something went wrong. After all, this operation did not have a family member's signature. Fortunately, after the director verified the identity of Umaran, he knew that Umaran's identity was not simple. She was a special medical personnel of the National Confidentiality Department. He believed that there would be no trouble if such a person was present. This matter should be solved quickly. Soo-Yun was obviously satisfied with the final result of this matter. He was also very clear about Umaran's ability. With her in the operating room, he felt at ease. He hoped that the old lady would be all right and not have any accidents because of him. If that happened, Soo-Yun would not be able to sleep and eat in peace for the rest of his life. The operation had already begun. The old lady had suffered from intracranial hemorrhage because of the fall, so she had to face this operation very carefully. This operation would take a long time. Soo-Yun could not help much if he stayed outside. He thought that he could go back to the kebab shop to see what was going on with Song-Dong and the others. If there were no people there, Soo-Yun could drive the car out as soon as possible. Soo-Yun stopped a taxi at the gate of the hospital. He told the driver the location, and got off in advance on the street in front of the kebab shop. At this time, the whole kebab street was very lively. Soo-Yun observed for a while, and found that Song-Dong's people were not there. It seemed that this matter was completely over. Soo-Yun observed the surrounding situation, and slowly approached the place where he had the kebab. This place was the best place for him to observe his parking place. Soo-Yun soon found that the cars that surrounded his car had disappeared. He could drive away at any time. In order not to cause trouble for the owner of the kebab shop, Soo-Yun did not intend to say goodbye. He was ready to drive away directly. Brother, you're here. You must be tired from work. Do you want 2 kidneys to make up for it? It was unknown when this boss had appeared behind Soo-Yun. He walked up to Soo-Yun and said with a chuckle. Soo-Yun was slightly stunned. The owner was really forgetful. He had just left and had already eaten a lot of kidneys. What else did he want to make up for? Sit. The owner did not care about Soo-Yun's blank face. He pulled him to find a place to sit down. I say, your company's boss is quite evil. Why did he work overtime for you? Without waiting for Soo-Yun to explain, the owner put a large glass of draft beer in front of Soo-Yun. Come. Drink first. Anyway, you don't have a car. Drink more. Bus 11 will go back in a while. Come have a drink. I'll accompany you. Soo-Yun was completely dumbfounded by the boss. It seemed that the boss had not only forgotten about him, but also treated him as another person. Just when Soo-Yun wanted to explain, the owner looked around and quickly stretched his head to Soo-Yun's ear. He lowered his voice and said, Brother, how dare you come back? Who did you and that girl provoke? Aren't they too powerful? There are hundreds of people here. There are local bullies and police. If they catch you, you will definitely. Soo-Yun suddenly realized that the owner was trying to find a way to save him. Let me tell you, there are people in every restaurant on this street. I have people here too. So, don't talk nonsense. It will arouse suspicion. The owner said, Don't drive your car. This is a trap. As long as you appear, You will definitely be surrounded. Suyin nodded and did not say anything. He made a gesture of gratitude to the owner with his hands. Just treat it as if you're a regular here. Finish this glass of wine, and have some food before you leave. After the tavern owner said that, he patted Suyin on the shoulder, and resumed his loud voice. Not bad. Your tolerance for alcohol seems to have improved. Just drink it. Come, I will add another glass for you. What do you want to eat? Tell the waiter. Same old rules. Suyin got into character quite quickly. The owner gave him a thumbs up in his heart. Good, really good. He turned to the waiter and said, Same old rules. The waiter was a little dumbfounded. What's the old rules? Just as he was feeling puzzled, he saw Suyin and came to a realization. This was the Almighty who had caused all the trouble just now. TSK, TSK, TSK. The owner really doesn't mind the trouble. He dares to help anyone. He didn't say anything but cooperated and shouted. Okay. It will be ready soon. I will give you a plate of peanuts and edamame first. Drink the beer. The peanuts and edamame Suyin ate in one night were more than what he ate in a year. If he ever came to the beer skewer restaurant again, he would definitely not want to eat this dish. With so many pairs of eyes looking at him, he forced himself to finish it all in one breath. And he ate 2 kidneys. This night was really nourishing. Chapter 1879. Boss, I'm done eating. I'll go home first. I still have to make reports for the evil capitalist boss when I get home. See you later. Suyin got up and took out some money from his pocket. 2 cups of beer and some barbecue. It really didn't cost more than 10 yuan, but the boss still had to accept it. He didn't want to arouse the suspicion of those who were secretly monitoring this place while eating and drinking on the surface. It's a total of 73 yuan. I'll charge you 70 yuan. So expensive. Suyin also looked like a loser who was shocked by the high price. How could a person who felt heartache when eating 70 yuan for a meal afford to drive a car? He probably wouldn't even be willing to buy an electric car that costs more than 3,000 yuan. 2 kidneys and it's 30 yuan. The boss admired Suyin's acting skills. He patted his shoulder and said, Make more money, young man. The consumption level of society is very, very high now. If you can't even afford this, how are you going to buy a house in the future? Are you going to buy a car? If you don't have a house and a car, how are you going to get a wife? Suyin sighed. There's no other way. Since I've gritted my teeth and stayed in Yanjing, I have to endure it. If I go back to a small county, I'll definitely be laughed at by my former classmates and friends. People all think that I'm in Yanjing, a big city in the capital. I earn a lot, eat well, and have a lot of fun. Isn't that so? Otherwise, why would you stay in Yanjing? The boss smiled. He also knew very well what kind of life the people who wanted to stay in Yanjing were living. I really don't have an annual salary of tens of thousands like other people, Suyin said. I'm just working an ordinary job. What can I do with a few thousand yuan a month? I'm going to drink the northwest wind. I'm going to suffer for my reputation. No matter how hard it is, I don't want to go back. I'll be looked down upon if I go back. They'll say that I'm back because I can't survive. Suyin handed the $70 to the boss and shook his head helplessly as he muttered to himself. Forget it, let's go. Why would I eat kidneys for no reason? I don't have a girlfriend, so why would I eat that thing? I've been holding it in for so long. The poor young man that Suyin was playing now was a common sight in Yanjing City. The most basic level was a university graduate. And it was not rare for graduate students to return from abroad. It was nothing more than a company with a monthly salary of more than 2,000. After working hard for a year, the salary would be more than 3,000, and after 2 years of intrigue, the salary would be 5,000. After that, if he didn't have any special abilities and just worked step by step, he wouldn't be able to earn much. Even if Yanjing City was a metropolis, having a monthly salary of more than 10,000 yuan was still considered a high income of the working class. The deep-rooted old Beijing people would definitely be able to survive with this income. But what about those foreign youngsters who had dreams but no ability? They wanted to live in a big city and suck their parents dry like vampires, get a down payment to buy a house, and then squeeze into the subway to work in a bank for the next 20 years. Was this kind of life really what these people wanted? Of course not. They would like Beijing, they would like the big girls of Beijing, they would like the rich life in Beijing, and they would like the international standard of living. But they would never understand that these things were not something they could get by staying in Beijing. Even if they stayed in Yanjing, the rich life in Yanjing was also left for the rich to experience. The poor couldn't afford Western food that cost more than 10,000 yuan. The international standard of living was also prepared for the rich. The poor couldn't afford to live in a residential area that cost more than 10,000 yuan a year. As for Yanjing's big girls, they weren't people that poor people in small places could get. They would give them face if they looked at them. Yanjing's big girls could only be invited out to play with the second generation of the rich and the second generation of the government officials. Just a casual meal and a song could cost a poor person a month's salary, not to mention buying a limited edition bag as a gift. Even a year's salary might not be enough. That's why people had to be clear about their own abilities. They had to do what they were capable of. If they didn't have the ability, then don't stay in a city that didn't belong to them. Su Yun acted out a play that made many people think deeply about themselves. Among the people eating skewers, there were people who were similar to Su Yun's role. And Su Yun took advantage of this successful role to leave smoothly without letting anyone see him. It seems that if I want to drive this car away, I really have to use some means. Phew, it doesn't matter. It's not a big deal. This is Yanjing. If he, Su Yun, can't even handle such a small matter, then he really wasted his time. Tomorrow, he would let these people who were guarding the car know what it meant to be domineering. Tonight, he would save the old lady first. Fortunately, he and Yumarin didn't need to rush back to the army now. This was because when the hospital checked Yumarin's identity, Yumarin had already applied to the brigade to stay out for the night. This was a special situation, and there was no other way. Moreover, with Su Yun following, Yumarin definitely wouldn't be in any danger. The brigade was very assured about this, so they happily approved it and promised Yumarin that she would come back when the surgery was over. She wouldn't be criticized if she stayed out for the night. After all, no matter whether Yumarin came back after the surgery or not, Su Yun would follow her. What was there to be afraid of? Could it be that Su Yun would betray Yumarin? Based on the relationship between the two, Su Yun would rather let Yumarin betray him than betray Yumarin. When Su Yun returned to the hospital, the surgery was still going on. Su Yun looked at the time. It was already 10 o'clock at night. This surgery might not be completed even after 2 hours. Of course, although the surgery was complicated, it wouldn't last the whole night. It would definitely be completed by tonight. In the eyes of outsiders, being a doctor was very easy. However, standing in the operating room for a few hours, sometimes even more than 10 hours, was also a very difficult job. Thinking of this, Su Yun quickly dialed the number to check. He asked for the phone numbers of several big hotels in Beijing, and dialed the numbers one by one. Knowing that there were still quite a lot of empty rooms, he was relieved. He would see the situation later. If Yumarin came out early, they would rush back to the army as soon as possible. If it was past 12 o'clock, then they would go out and find a hotel to stay. It would take at least an hour to rush back. At that time, no taxi would dare to take their job in the middle of the night. After Su Yun made plans in this regard, he began to think about the problem of his car. He quickly dialed Wang Yi's phone. He guessed that he must not have slept at this time. Why are you calling me in the middle of the night? How's the situation on your side? Wang Yi said. Do you want to give me a detailed report? Su Yun grinned and said, You know me well. I haven't even opened my mouth, and you have seen through everything. I want to report today's situation to you. It's really quite complicated. After reporting, is there anything else you need my help with? You've never taken the initiative to report to me about your work. Wang Yi said, I was just casually asking. You really didn't hold back. Okay, say it. What's the matter? Report the work first. Let's talk about other things after the work report. Su Yun told Wang Yi everything that happened today, including the assassin from the Black Fox group invited by Song Dong. and the incident where Yu Marin was angry and seriously injured Song Dong. Su-Yun also said clearly how the assassin from the Black Fox group used the old lady to escape from his hands. Wang Yi listened quietly and calmly analyzed this matter. The problem now is that my car is closely watched by the Song family's people. As long as I go to pick up the car, they will definitely take action. Su-Yun said. At that time, do you think I should do it or not? If I do it, I am afraid that it will make things worse. It will be troublesome if I hurt too many people. If I don't do it, I am afraid that I will embarrass you. Alright, stop flattering me. Do you think I don't know what's going on in your head? I know what you mean too well. Wang Yi said. Since this matter has already happened, then the team and I will definitely solve it for you. Your top priority now is to protect Yu Marin. Don't let her be bullied. Do you understand? Of course not. Su-Yun promised. Tomorrow, I will arrange for Qian Feng to bring people to get your car back. They know what to do, Wang Yi said. Chapter 1880. You know me the best. Then I won't interfere in this matter. Su-Yun felt much better. Remember to tell Qian Feng and the others not to lose the prestige of our Dragon God Special Operations Group. How can I not know what you're thinking? Wang Yi said helplessly. You should have reported this matter to me earlier. After all, it involves the Black Fox Group appearing in Yanjing, Huaxia. We have to take this matter seriously. I need to report this matter to the main team immediately. You take care of yourself. I won't worry about you. Su-Yun nodded. Okay, you go do your thing. I'll take care of Yu Marin. I'll make sure she returns to the main team safely. If she loses even a strand of hair, you can punish her however you want. Wang Yi hung up the phone and contacted Wang Guangxiao directly. They did need to be prepared at all times. The Black Fox Group had been established for a long time, but they had never appeared in Huaxia. Now that the Black Fox Group had appeared, no one could guarantee what their purpose was. This matter had to be prepared in advance. They could not wait until something happened to solve the problem. Otherwise, it would be too late. This time, Su-Yun was able to obtain such an important clue. It was definitely very important information for the Dragon Brigade. After all the arrangements were made, Su-Yun did not have any thoughts at all. Now he just wanted to take a hot bath. He was sweating all over when he chased after Clay. The surgery continued. At about 1 o'clock in the morning, Yu Marin and the other doctors dragged their tired bodies out. They looked extremely nervous. After everything was over, they felt very relaxed. How's the situation? Su-Yun went up and held Beauty Yu's shoulders. She looked really tired. It was not physical fatigue, but mental fatigue. This kind of situation was caused by excessive nervousness. The surgery just now must have been very dangerous. Yu Marin smiled. The situation is very good. Everything has been settled. The old lady is fine. Fortunately, this time she fell and caused an intracranial blood clot. After the craniotomy, we also found a benign tumor in her brain. Although it is benign, if it was not removed in time today, it is very likely that in a few days, the blood supply to her brain would be blocked and she would die. Su-Yun sucked in a breath of cold air. This old man was really lucky. This was really a blessing in disguise. That's good. Dr. Yu, today's surgery is all thanks to you. If you weren't there, we really wouldn't know what to do. The situation happened too suddenly. I didn't expect you to be so calm at such a young age. If it weren't for you, the old lady's life would really be in danger. It's nothing. This is what I should do. Yu Marin didn't take it seriously at all. There are unpredictability in the process of any surgery. This kind of thing is very normal. Su-Yun realized that there must have been an abnormality during the surgery. You are so careless. You even told me that the situation is very good. It's just a small accident. It's fine as long as it's remedied in time. Yu Marin smiled. It's all because the old lady is lucky. Su-Yun saw that Yu Marin was so tired and knew that there must have been an accident. These people didn't ask her to help before, and now that there was an accident, they all relied on her. Forget it, he didn't want to argue with them. You know that we are from the National Special Department. We don't have time to waste here. Since the old lady is fine, the rest will be left to the hospital. The hospital really couldn't make these two people bear any obligations. They could only think of a way to cooperate with the police to contact the old lady's family. We'll leave first. We won't disturb you anymore. After Su-Yun said that, he prepared to leave with Yu Marin. I think Dr. Yu is tired. Why don't we have a meal together? A young doctor was quite good at talking, but Su-Yun was 100% sure that this guy had the heart because Yu Marin was beautiful. Otherwise, who would be in the mood to eat in the middle of the night? Everyone had a love for beauty. This was normal and nothing. Yes, we really should treat Dr. Yu to a meal to express our gratitude. As soon as the suggestion was made, someone immediately agreed. There's no need to be so polite. We're all doctors. It's our duty to save the dying and heal the injured, Yu Marin said. Moreover, I don't have the habit of eating supper at night. Thank you, everyone. Dr. Yu, give us a chance to thank you. If we don't treat you to supper, we'll feel bad. Su-Yun couldn't be bothered to waste time with them. He waved his hand and said to the enthusiastic doctors, listen to me. Dr. Yu is already very tired, and she doesn't like to eat supper. If you really have the heart to treat her, then give me the money. I'll treat her to the best Buddha jumps over the wall in Yanjing City tomorrow. How about that? Is that okay? When Su-Yun said that, many doctors were stunned. It's not much money. 200 yuan per person will definitely be enough. Su-Yun. Don't worry, I'll only buy it for Dr. Yu. I won't eat it myself. Wasn't this young man too thick-skinned? Su-Yun, what are you talking about? Yu Marin really lost to Su-Yun. I'm sorry, he's just joking. I'm also quite tired, so we'll leave first. You guys continue with your work. After saying that, Yu Marin pulled Su-Yun and left. Su-Yun stretched out his hand and was about to ask for money. Seeing that no one responded to his suggestion, he was pulled away by Yu Marin. On the way out, he turned around and shouted at the stunned people. It's okay if you don't have cash. I'll give you my card number. You can transfer it to my card tomorrow. I'm a man of my word. Stop fooling around. Yu Marin didn't know whether to laugh or cry as she brought Su-Yun out of the hospital. It was already 1 o'clock in the morning. It was impossible for them to return to the Dragon Brigade. After 12 o'clock, no one was allowed to enter or leave unless they were on a special mission. Both of them knew this rule, so no one would mention it. Let's find a hotel to stay in and go back tomorrow. After the two of them got into the taxi, Su-Yun spoke first. Yu Marin could only nod. Then let's just find a chain hotel. It's cheap too. One look and I can tell that you two don't come out often. The taxi driver smiled. It's already so late. Most chain hotels are already out of rooms. There are too many young people who come out of bars at this time. Men and women are looking for rooms everywhere. It's impossible to find one. Yu Marin didn't know what to do. She looked at Su-Yun, not knowing what to do. Then let's find an expensive one, Su-Yun. People who come out for a night of fun definitely won't stay in a presidential suite. If they had that kind of money, they would have already raised a canary. This brother's words are too reasonable. The taxi driver laughed. But it's not to the extent of a presidential suite. Most expensive hotels definitely have rooms. It's hard to find a budget hotel for less than 300, but it's easy to find a high-end suite for more than 2,000. Su-Yun didn't care about this little bit of money. He suddenly thought of a question. Oh right, do you know the beer street nearby? Of course I do. That place is so famous. The taxi driver nodded. So, let's drink and eat first before looking for a hotel? If that's the case, it's good. I'm also a little hungry. No. I'm thinking, is there a bigger hotel nearby? You can see the beer street from the room. Su-Yun. Of course there is. Uekai Hotel. 5-star, it's good enough. The taxi driver said. There must be rooms in that place because the hotel's location is close to the beer street. It's not popular with rich people. If you go, maybe the room fee will be 20% off. That's great. Su-Yun. That's the place. Yu Marin knew that Su-Yun might have chosen that place for the car. Are there still those people there? Are we going to pick up the car tomorrow? We don't need to worry about this. Someone will naturally solve this matter tomorrow. Su-yin smiled. I have reported the matter to my master. The rest will be handed over to him. Let's have a good rest today, and then watch a good show tomorrow. After watching the good show, we will go back. Marin was at a loss. She didn't know what good show Su-yin had arranged for her to watch, but as long as it was arranged by Su-yin, it would definitely surprise her. Anyway, she didn't have the mood to think too much now. The most important thing was to go to the hotel and rest. Okay, that's the place. Su-yin made a prompt decision. You're tuning into the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.